Now you gotta like dance. You have to have a dance intro. Hey everyone, we are live here at Bat City Comic Professionals. I'm Shannon, aka SmallPressShann, and with me as usual is my pal Phil, aka Wednesday Phil. And
hello.
I like it when we get the
Yes.
applause. It makes me feel like we're special. Oh, hey, you got your sound on.
My bad. Technical difficulties.
I always have to, that's the first thing I check when I turn my phone on is, do I have the sound on? Because that's the one sound in the world I don't want to hear is my own voice. But thank you guys for sitting around and listening to it.
I actually love the sound of my voice. That's nice. The sole reason I podcast is just so I can hear myself talk.
Well, that makes one of us. I'm just kidding. I love this. You actually do have a good podcast voice.
I don't. Sometimes I hear other voices, we were talking about who would you have narrate your life.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jeff Bridges, that's an amazing voice. If I could switch voices with somebody, somebody like Jeff Bridges, obviously Morgan Freeman.
Right, that's the obvious.
I want those voices, but sometimes I hear my voice, I'm like, I wouldn't want to be around me that often either.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't have, a high-pitched, nasally tone. I literally got told I was at a different store one time when I was working as a cosplayer, and I was greeting people as Harley Quinn, and these two guys go, oh my god, she's trying to do the voice, and her accent is terrible. And I was like, I'm really not. This is just how I talk. I was like, my voice is just that high. I promise I'm not trying to do a thing. So somebody was like, wait, now that they've said that, have you ever thought about just going into a career as a Harley Quinn voice actress? And I was like, no. But thank you for confirming that my voice is, in fact, that high. So,
But would you, if you were offered...
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to turn down the chance to be Harley Quinn. I'm just saying. Yeah. My mom once told me, she was like, you should go into voice acting. And I was like, this is all this does.
Yeah.
And it's not a thing that people want to hear. Yeah. So, Joshua Ramirez, a.k.a. J2, just said Sam Elliott would narrate his life, and it'd be perfect.
Just the cast of Big Lebowski?
Right, apparently.
Yeah.
And shout out, what up, J2? J2, if you have links for I know you've got your upcoming thing with Jonathan Hedrick. If you want to...
It's out.
It's out, okay.
He posted
today,
it.
Right?
Yeah, he posted it in Lone Star.
Yeah.
Geeks and Nerds.
Geeks and Nerds. I always say it backwards, so I'm glad you went first. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, J2, drop that link if you guys have have not heard interviews from J2 with Jonathan Hedrick. He is the writer of The Recount. From Scout Comics. He's got a couple of new projects coming up, and our good buddy J2, one of our volunteers, just actually interviewed him. So drop those links, J2, so people can check out that interview. Oh my gosh, Gilbert Godfrey, that would be
awful.
That is awful.
I would enjoy it for about 15 minutes, and then I would have to stop.
Yeah, Nigel said Jeff Bridges' bedtime tapes are amazing. That said, David Tennant actually legitimately does read children's bedtime stories on YouTube. You can look up David Tennant reading children's bedtime stories. Okay. Not saying that that's how I used to fall asleep, but I am saying that I know where you can find these bedtime stories.
I feel like he would have an enjoyable voice to fall asleep to.
Absolutely, yes.
I'm going to have to check those out, because the Jeff Bridges ones they're great too.
Ooh, Phil Lamar. You guys, this is great. Keep going with who you would have narrate your life. I actually did not pick anybody. I don't know who. I'm trying to think of female voices that are could narrate my life. I mean, if it has to be a
Reese
female.
Witherspoon.
I don't think that's any better than my actual voice.
Back in the same.
Right. Can I just choose Katie McGrath just so I can hear her in my head all the time? That would be great.
Yeah, I was trying to think of who's the really well-known actress who wins every award.
Meryl Streep?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe someone like Meryl Streep.
I actually think I would choose Mae Whitman.
Okay.
Because she could do random voices. Like, she could, whatever my mood was, like, she could have a voice that she narrated it as.
Yes.
And I think it would be awesome. Joshua Ramirez says I would choose Poppy.
Oh, no. No.
Oh my gosh, that actually might be the voice in my head currently. Like, oh, today was a great day. I loved it.
I showed my coworkers Poppy. They did not understand it at all.
I love it.
Yes, BJ said Lake Bell and her role of Poison Ivy in the Harley Quinn cartoon. For me, I actually was thinking that, BJ.
Oh, yeah.
That's totally true.
Emma Thompson. Another good choice.
Also, comic book news, way ahead of myself before we even jump into this, but since BJ said Lake Bell, there is a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy comic coming out in 3 weeks. I just ordered it today. That is the direct pickup from season 2 of the Harley Quinn show. So it literally, like, where the last shot of that show ends is the first panel of the comic. So if you love that cartoon, let us know now that you might be interested in getting that comic, because I would need to add to that order immediately.
Yes, Shannon was very puzzled by how many numbers of issues to get.
Yes, I was very puzzled because I know everybody loves that show, and I have already read issue 1, and it's going to be so good.
And the covers are great.
Yeah.
I like the covers.
Yeah.
Michael Cho?
Michael Cho has the cover B is Michael Cho. It's really sick. Anyway, since we're here to wind down your weekend, we are drinking Point de Passage. It's based around ancient Greek. This says, millennia ago, ancient Greeks migrated to the sunny southern regions of France, bringing winemaking knowledge with them. Today, new migrants sail from distant shores to harvest the same grapes. I don't know that that's why the ancient Greeks went to France, but apparently...
I thought that was the only reason.
That was apparently the reason. But this is... So it's a French wine bottled in California, is what that was supposed to say. And it is a red blend. So I know, Phil, you smelled it and you thought it smelled good.
Yes, I took a sip and then I realized I was supposed to wait. It smells good. It tastes pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. Now, I know you didn't like the buttery one, so is this too buttery for you?
It is close to that.
Yeah.
I tried a rosé today because at work we have a rosé, and that was way too much.
Yeah.
Intense. This one's not as bad.
Yeah, and this one, Matt, you said this one's from Officer Chuck and Justine. Oh man, we love Charles. He's one of our volunteers. He's fantastic, and this is Officer Chuck and Justine gave us this, and Justine is one of my new wine buddies. She has been wrecking all the good wines. So
I feel like there should be, once everything goes back to normal, a wine book club.
Right, we need a Bat City wine club going on where we just there's applause from Matt. Yes. JT says the applause gets him every time, so keep up the applause because he's loving it.
There's more sounds too in the arsenal, don't worry.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I can't wait to drink this entire bottle, which is definitely what's gonna happen tonight. I'm just gonna refill my glass so that you don't have to do it in like 3 minutes, so because I gave myself a little bit.
Should we just take the glass away from you and you can just have the bottle? Right,
as in an ideal world, yes. But I do have to share. So we're going to dive in. Chad said we can only have a Bat City wine club if we finally actually get the Bat City stemware that he asked us for on every live stream. We'll work on it, Chad. I know. I mean, if you or someone other than Chad who would actually purchase a Bat City wine glass that has the Wine Down Your Weekend logo, drop that in the comments, because if we know that people will actually buy them, then we will actually order them. So let us know if you're interested in Bat City stemware, and we will get to designing on that soon.
I'd be down.
Oh, well, there you go. 2 orders.
I don't even drink wine, but I'll put my sweet tea in there and look really sophisticated.
You could use yours for the Wine Down Your Weekend show.
Oh,
the
yeah,
one time that you drink wine a week.
I forget. I do drink wine occasionally.
Yeah. Well, let's jump in to this. Let's see what we got. We've got a prize for everybody, I think. was replaced.
What?
He changed my sound, so I don't get to go,
Oh,
prize!
that's right.
Oh, that's fine.
That's not it. That's not it. There it is.
Prize! See, that's
Like, we're at a
better. Don't we
baseball
all
game.
feel better? I know. Well, we had to do this because this week there's not a Cullen Bunn title, so we're just going to give you one for free. So we are giving away a copy of Phantom on the Scan #1, as well as this great copy of Pit. I actually just really like that Pit cover. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
And it just kind of reminded me, since we just had Lynn Brown in, and we had all the Garbage Pail Kids stuff around, and then like seeing this mixed with all that, it just worked really well. If in order to get this lovely prize pack, you need to answer a question, and the question is, what publishing company founded in 2015 is celebrating its 100th title this month?
They put it in all of their comics.
They put it on the cover of all of their comics this week. So if you picked up anything from this publisher, you'll actually know the answer to this question. But this publishing company, founded in 2015, celebrates its 100th title this month. What publishing company is that? If you know, you get this prize back. If you answer the question and you already have these comics, you can toss your prize to someone else, and we'll work something out. Yes, Chad, it is Aftershock.
Just so happens to be one of the prizes.
I know. How convenient
The
is
answer was
that?
in front of you the whole time.
Yes. Aftershock. Congratulations to Aftershock. Since 2015, they have actually put out 100 titles. So,
Congrats, Aftershock.
Congrats to Aftershock. And they're killing it this year. They put out some really great titles.
I have been impressed.
Yeah.
I also like the one-shots they're doing.
Oh, yes. Did you read the one for today?
Yes.
Okay,
I did.
good. I'm so
Yes.
glad to talk about that.
Wait, wasn't that the one? Oh, no, White Ash was the other one. That was
That one was Scout.
Okay. Good.
We'll talk about that too. BJ, that prize is coming your way from Chad, because he already has that book. As we know, he's a big fan of Phantom on the Scan, so I know he's happy to share it and love it. I brought you some bags and boards and Post-it notes so you could label those prizes as we go.
Chad, you don't want the random issue of Pit?
He might. I don't know. If you do, Chad, let us know. Let's jump into some comics that we read this week. I know you didn't read issue 6.
I have not caught up.
I don't want to spoil it,
Please don't.
so I'm not gonna. But if you haven't read Hollow Heart was pitched as body horror, and I feel like it's actually not that horrific in any way, shape, or form.
So it was actually, I read somewhere that it was a monster love story.
That is a better way to describe it.
More than, because you were the one that told me it was body horror.
Right.
But I had heard it was more of a love story. Kind of like Frankenstein, that alley of stuff. But obviously the cover is what sold me on this. The blues and the pinks.
Every time. The
Yes.
covers of this have been really great, and I think my favorite thing about it is each issue, and I used to say that the first 2 issues had that like Great Gatsby effect, where it was like, I don't know that I'm 100% sold on the story, but those last 2 paragraphs sell me every time. And now it's switched to where that's at the front of the story, where now they're doing those, he's telling a story to the audience, but also to each other. And it ends up being an allegory for what happens in the issue. And those allegories in the last few issues have just been some really, really great stories, that the way those stories work are just actually really well written, in the same way that those last 2 pages were always like my favorite. But yeah, this issue, don't flip too much, Phil, because I don't want you to destroy
I'll show this page
I need
just
you to
because the art looks cool, but I won't go anything beyond this. Because I have really been enjoying this. I feel like this is one that I didn't talk a lot about early on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're mentioning your favorite books. But this one grew on me pretty quickly.
It definitely did. And it does come out of nowhere. It's one of those books where you're like, oh yeah, and that one. And then you're suddenly like, oh my gosh, but did you read Hollow Heart yet?
I feel like it's tough to it's easy to get lost in all of the Vault titles that have been coming out.
Because they're all good.
And I can see this one kind of falling by the wayside a bit, yes.
Matt is literally rubbing his Vault shirt in happiness over there. I am also wearing a Vault shirt, that's true.
I just need to get one.
I know, we need to get you some Vault uniform.
Well, I saw at the, one of the guys at Posse East was wearing a Barbaric shirt. And I was like, I need that. That is the shirt that I need. That
actually is how we found out that they had shirts for everything.
Oh, really?
He had that shirt. Barbaric #1 came out on a Wednesday. The next Tuesday, he already had the shirt.
Really?
He was like, I read the issue, I loved it, I went on there, I ordered it, it came in so fast. And he was like, and it was on sale. And we were like, oh man, do they have other ones? And we started looking, and Matt and I ordered like 6 shirts because we couldn't not do it. So I honestly, that is the one thing I will say is the rest of the small press companies need to up their merch game.
Very easily.
And I know that it's hard because you're like, oh, well, it's creator-owned titles, so, like, is the creator responsible for paying for the merch? Which is the case with a lot. Like, with Image, like, creators have to put out their own merch for it. And I know that's the case, but, like, I would wear a shirt. If Boom just had a Boom Studios shirt, I would wear it every day. Like, give me a Boom Studios tank top, actually. Please stop making only t-shirts. Remember that 50% of the readership of comic books is women, and we love tank tops, so give us some tank tops.
We're also in Texas. We're hot.
Right, and I just hate sleeves. But yeah, they need to make some stuff. Like, where is my Something is Killing the Children merchandise? This is the biggest comic book in the world right now, and there's no merch. And it's like, Boom would not lose money if Boom chose to say, "Hey, James Tynion, we want to make merch for your property. Like, we'll take the risk." Boom's not going to lose any money on it. Let's be honest. So, Ross, if you're watching, because Ross Ritchie just sits around watching our live stream all the time. But if you're watching as the CEO of Boom, like, throw out some merch for Something is Killing the Children, and the that city customer base alone will fund it. It's fine.
Yes, I will purchase everything. Like, where is the Erica Slaughter action figure? Oh my god! Like, where is that?
I don't have the money for all of the Erica Slaughter action figures Matt would buy. Like, we can't afford that, Phil.
Well, and then you could get a play set with all of them with the different bandanas. Like
a House of Slaughter like play set. Oh my god! All right, somebody get on that. If you are a toy maker, Todd McFarlane, work it out. Be friends with James Tynion. Let's get this going. Switching gears, because we'll talk about that all night. One of your other favorite books.
Yes, from Oni Press. Gianna and the Unpossible Monsters. I always forget. I always just want to say Impossible Monsters. This is one of those books that it's just all about the art for me. I'm also a couple of issues behind, but you get your lovable protagonist who you're going to root for, and high fantasy adventure.
And both. I root for both because there's the two sisters. Yes, and I really like the one sister who's like, we have to, like, bring the family together. We have to do this. We have to, like, who tells the story because she's the speaking character. But then Jonah doesn't speak at all. And yet she's so lovable. I want to hug her. She would not allow that. Like, Jonah is like a cat. Like, I want to chase her down and hug her, but she'd, like, scream and screech and run out of my hands if I tried. But she's so cute. And this issue, we actually see a turn. And honestly, like, there are already trades of this if you're interested. I know this is issue 5, but we do already have the trade.
Is it only 1 through 4 then?
I need to double check. I thought it was 1 through 5, but it came out early. And so we've kept them in the back. There's also a really amazing...
We're donating.
We are donating them to schools, too. That's the other thing. So if you want one, most of them are going to schools. If you'd like to buy one for a school, let us know. Because we talk about the fact that for us, Matt and I talk about this a lot, is that Jonah is a great early reader book. Because Jonah doesn't speak, it helps kids see through pictures and just get into, kind of use their imagination and tell that story. But then you do get the easy read that goes with her sister. And there is a lot in what is happening both in the art and in the story. So it's a great early reader book. And they actually put out like a director's edition of issue 1 that's an oversized. And the coolest thing in the back is that they went through and they explain, this is a panel, this is a layout, this is how you design your layout, this is how you tell, like how you use paneling to tell a story. So they did, the writers, the creators of this book, who are a husband and wife, did an entire lesson on how to make a comic in the back of the director's cut. It's gorgeous.
I saw it over there.
Yeah,
the oversized issue.
That's
cool.
actually going in our, that's a part of our school programming, like how, when we go into schools and we talk about comics, that issue of Gianna is actually for that. And Oni Press is amazing for kid and teen books in general, and just getting on that. And so this is, if you're ever looking for something for a young reader or all the way up to teenager, like, find something from Oni Press.
Yes. Also Oni Press, Jonah action figure.
Also Oni Press.
Or plushie.
Scott Pilgrim had its anniversary this week.
Yes, that's right. I totally forgot.
Mm-hmm. Of the comic, not the movie.
Yes.
Yes. So,
and if you love the movie, you'll love the comic even more.
Absolutely. Yes. This is from Red 5 Comics. Talk about small press. Did you get to read this?
This was the few that I didn't get to.
This is, there's a conversation that's happening a lot in comics right now, and it's making me a little nervous about the future of society, because this is much like Fear Case. This is all about a box that exists that can destroy the entire world, and people trying to get it. And this has a detective once again working on, like, he's acquired this box and he's trying to keep other people. I do like it because since he is a detective, this is actually a detective story. Like, he's like, well, I guess the only thing I can do is go to the library because that's a detective's best friend, and I'm gonna have to do research on all these, like, ancient boxes. Mm-hmm. And he starts researching the history of boxes, like Pandora's box and the Ark of the Covenant, and anytime there's been a reference point to boxes in civilization destroying civilization, and he starts talking about this, and I was like, I kind of want to do the research with him. Like, that's how well done of a detective story it is, that I was like, I need to go look into this, because I never thought about all of these. And he's, like, tracing it back and is like, is this all the same box, or are there multiple boxes? And I was like, I now want to do the same research that he's doing, because I never thought about all of those boxes possibly being the same, like, civilization-destroying box. Mm-hmm. And so I'm, like, super intrigued now by this concept. It's only 4 issues long. And so I don't really know, like, where the story itself is going to go. But I might just find myself researching boxes throughout civilization, crushing boxes, thanks to this and Fear Case. Like, but it seems to be a conversation on the rise. Like, is there a box that's going to destroy all of civilization? I don't know.
I mean, it could definitely be out there.
Right.
How do you feel pacing-wise with the first issue? Because that usually sets a tone for me in a miniseries, is how quickly they get through this first issue.
There's a lot in this issue. I was actually surprised. The first couple of pages, there's a few jumps in it that I was confused by. Like, I wasn't sure who had the box and what the box, like, where we were in the timeline. And then it writes that, like, it fixes that. And it kind of catches into it, and it seems like they got their footing. Okay. So it seems like the first couple of pages, like, it was, you know, the kind of, like, this is the box, and this is the idea, and this is who had it, and that jumbled, like, we don't know where, and I almost, like, knowing then that it went to a detective and he was trying to solve it, I almost felt like, okay, they meant that to be a little confusing, because that's part of what we're untangling as we read, and where he's knowing 5 pages and he's the main character, it was almost like, oh, we don't know because he doesn't know. Okay. And so I was like, maybe that's the case, but if you just jump in on the first few pages, like by page 3, I was like, do I know what's going on? But then once I got to, like, page 5, I was like, oh, I do, and this is interesting read.
Okay, I don't know anything about Red 5 Comics.
Me either, and I need to look into it. I think this is the second time we've had a Red 5 comic in the store, but I didn't look into it then either. And so this is one of those very back, like, they get 1 or 2 titles in the previews catalog, and you have to order it on an initial order to get it at all. So it's one of those you don't really see. There's not a final order cutoff. I can't get this 3 weeks out, so this is kind of like, Eighth Immortal and those where, like,
Right.
I have to make sure I don't miss it because it could be on that order.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Savage Hearts, issue 2. This is a Dark Horse title. I still need you to read this only because it's strange and I don't know how I feel about it, and I need you to read it.
I know.
That's
I need to.
all I have to say, but it's basically a barbarian woman has lost her partner, and there's an evil sorcerer, and she is trying to find the evil sorcerer, and she's trying to get in this battle, and this weird satyr-like creature has decided he is going to be her guide, and he's going to help her. And it's a little bit crass at times, but not like the worst dude's level of crass.
Right. I don't think anyone else can reach that level.
Nobody's gonna reach that level. That's so true. So it's not that. It's one of those. It's kind of like the Marjorie Finnegan era of stuff where I'm like, I don't know if I'm offended by this or if like it's just not for me.
Yeah.
And it kind of falls into that area, but it's still like at the same time like there's kind of like the two friends. Their names are Foe and Foe, but they're spelled differently. And they're terrible, like, assistants, but they're also, like, got really good hearts at the end of the day. And we're learning about this barbarian woman, and she's actually kind of, like, we're finding that she has a sweet story. And so it's, like, it's almost like it would have been a great comic in the 90s, because it almost has that, like, 90s-esque feel of, like, we're catering to one audience and only one audience, but at the same time has a little bit of that modern edge to it where it's like, but we do know that there are other readers and we want to give you more of a story.
Okay. I've heard a lot of good things about this because it's kind of comedic fantasy.
Yeah, very much.
Which I enjoy, and I feel like that's a genre that's been doing well. Right now, I feel like a lot of the books I've been picking up and enjoying are like, oh, okay, cool. It's got, fantasy, which has been done a bunch. It's kind of hard to find a way to make it refreshing. So I like when they bring in comedy.
Yeah.
And a little bit of that offensiveness. And you don't have to go all the way.
You don't have to go worst dudes level.
No, you don't. But if you add a little bit, I think the art in this book is really fantastic.
Good. And the other thing is I like that the strong warrior is the woman and the like complete dope is the dude, and he's just like, I just think you're pretty. Is that so wrong? I just want to help you because you're pretty. And she's like, why are you so... You're not helping at all. You're just messing everything up. And he's like, but I like you. And so it's like, it's kind of an interesting flip in a book like that where you have a barbarian and it's like the woman is like the big beefy barbarian. She kind of is like a Xena-esque, like, like takes on everything.
Right.
But speaking of fantasy with great art, this is probably some of the best art out there right now. Bermuda issue 2 is out. If you like adventure, like, we're trapped on this, like, island, and the island is huge, and there's a whole story here, and you like pirates, and you like any of that kind of adventure stuff, and it doesn't matter your age, young or old, you're going to love Bermuda. If you are a fan of incredible art...
Whoa.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and open that right
You're gonna love Bermuda. This is like Nick Patera level, like, detailed art. It's so, like... so good. Every time I pick this book up, I'm like, how long did it take to make this issue? And there's sketches in the back of the layouts, and I'm like, no. Human didn't do that. I don't care. I refuse to believe that there are humans that can draw those little tiny details so well.
I mean, it is Nick Bradshaw. I've always felt like he was a talented artist. But I feel like this is kind of him, like, really showing... This is him flexing.
Yeah, like, look at
opinion. That. Okay, so this is...
And I love
the issue.
The non-color versus... like, the inks versus color page. Just... Oh, my God, that art. It's so good. If I was ever going to buy original art, this is the kind of original art that I would want to buy. That, like, necessarily... Like, it's not my favorite... Like... Not, I have to have it because it's my favorite story and I just need this page. This is like, I just need this art to hang somewhere. And It's a great story, though. Like, she's in the same sense of, like I just said with Savage Hearts. This is the young girl has been on this island. Her name is Bermuda. She's been on this island, and she's kind of our George of the Jungle, our Tarzan, our Peter Pan. Like, she's there. She knows the island, and a young boy and his sister, they're plane crash, and they're, like, billionaire kids, and the little sister gets taken by the bad guys, and the brother's like, well, I'm gonna go save her, and Bermuda's like, well, you're an idiot, because you're gonna die. And now Bermuda is having to do all this work to, like, defend him, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna regret helping you in any way, but here I am, saving you again. And I'm like, I just keep, and, like, this, I think this is the scene where she's, like, fighting the pirates, like,
Yes.
It's insane, like, how much you can shove into one panel of artwork, but it's so good. Read Bermuda. It's only on issue 2. It's IDW, and it's one of those IDWs talking about how they're trying to go back to more of this original idea and not as much of just the concepts of like, they get a lot of the licensed stuff, and they're talking about, we need to put out more. We keep saying we're going to put out more, like, original content, and this is something coming out of that, and it needs to be read. We do have copies of issue 1 and issue 2, and if you're a fan of any kind of adventure story or just phenomenal art, you need to read it.
I appreciate that, because I feel like for IDW, it's usually just Turtles for me.
Yeah.
And I kind of overlook everything else, because, I mean, it is a lot of licensed properties that come out of that. So IDW, I usually don't ever, like, go to for original content. So, that art.
That book you might miss because it is actually in our kids section right now.
I don't think you.
It's on our kids spinner because I think that kids really would love this adventure, and it is, like, teen characters as protagonists. And so it is in the kids section. So a lot of times people come in and they're like, oh, I guess you guys just didn't have, like, Star Wars High Republic Adventures, or you didn't have this. And it's like, no, if it's a book that is great for kids, like, they're getting priority. We're an educational nonprofit. I'm giving priority on those books to kids. So check that kids section. It's sometimes, like, people miss it a lot, and you're missing out on a lot of really good books that aren't necessarily just for kids, but I'm going to highlight them for kid readers who I think would really love it.
Okay.
That's where you'll also find Gianna and the Impossible Monsters. And again, that's one of Phil's favorites, so it's not just for kiddos.
I'm also just that person that really loves kids' books.
I mean, I 100% support that.
All right. Beyond the Breach, Ed Brisson, a name that I always enjoy seeing. I remember reading this first issue and being like, what the fuck? Why did this immediately jump into all this craziness?
Yeah.
And I think this book has absolutely zero pacing and has no idea what's going on. And then this just kind of continues that.
Yeah.
But expands it out and makes you realize that the people in the story also have no idea what's going on. Like, it could be an alien invasion, but it also seems like maybe interdimensional stuff is going on.
Nobody knows.
Like, we get a bunch of monsters and, like, an adorable little gremlin-looking thing, and now we have an old man riding a turtle. I'm sorry, he's riding a tortoise named Turtle. And he has no idea. They go to a town with a bunch of cops who have no idea.
Nobody knows what's going on, and I think it's
kind of great.
Yeah.
Can I be honest?
I was like, I kind of like that I don't know. And it's Aftershock, so it's probably going to be 5 issues. And somehow this is all going to wrap up. Or not.
No,
because
no
Red
way.
Atlantis never had an ending. Red Atlantis did not wrap up. And neither did, oh my god, what was that freaking book that I love so much and I can't remember what it was called. And it was at the beginning of the alphabet. And Atlantis isn't built for tourists.
Oh, okay.
Also did not have... Like, it had a this could keep going kind of ending. I feel like we're going to get to a point where this has a this should keep and could keep going kind of ending. And who knows if we'll ever get more.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. After that first issue, I was like, no, I have no interest in this. I don't really care where the story's going to go. Because I didn't think it was going to go anywhere.
The first issue, I was like, ooh, Aftershock, you found the first person who pitched something that sounded like something is killing the children, and you jumped on it.
Yes.
And I was like, you needed to, I was like, then, and that's not a train you want to try to chase.
No.
Because you're not going to catch it. James Tynion is the best at what he does. You're not going to get there. And I was like, this is just not necessarily the way I would have, like, I wouldn't have tried to catch that. And then this issue came out, and I was like, oh, no, you guys have you don't even know. You're in a completely different world than something is killing the children. This is nothing like that at all. And I'm happy that you did that, because you needed to differentiate as far as you could, and they did in this issue.
Yes, this was definitely, in terms of like your 3-issue rule.
Yeah.
Where that first issue, I would have been like, I don't even think I'm going to make it to 3. Mm-hmm. Now with this one, I'm like, okay, I know I'm at least going to go to 3, because especially in that first issue, you don't really get enough information about the main character. And in this one, now that she has other people around her, she can kind of let out some of her personality.
Yeah.
Like, I like that she calls one of the monsters a dick muncher.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't know what it's called. She's just like, and the dick muncher, and you're like, what?
And she just keeps going with it. That just becomes the name of that monster for the rest of the book. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, that's when she's referencing them later on in List, like, she's still calling them dick munchers. Yeah. Like, she never changes. Yeah. And nobody knows who they are, because it's like, no matter where you are from, you don't know everything about anything. Yeah. And so it's like, nobody knows what that particular monster is, so they're just still dick munchers. Yeah.
And like the guy introduced in this, Samuel, the one who rides on the turtle, the tortoise. I'm gonna mess that up a bunch of times. It's just a bunch of different pieces all coming together. Yeah. And trying to figure it out. And I'm starting to like it a little bit more, and I think issue 3 is when we're going to start getting answers.
I think so, too.
Because, like you said, if it's going to be 5 issues...
We'll see something.
Yeah, they're going to have to give us the answers and then try and wrap up whatever... And
whatever they're going to do.
Yeah, whatever's going on. Ugh.
This is all you, because I am behind, and I thought I was going to try to rush a Tom King book today, and Phil literally laughed at me trying to do it. I was like, I'm sitting there trying, and Phil was like, you're not going to do that.
The thing is with this book, and I am typically someone who strays away from lots of words.
Yes, I know. I was surprised when I read issue 1.
But being a Supergirl fan, being a Tom King fan, and the whole future state fan of all issues that came out, like I knew I was going to be on board for this. I usually blindly buy Tom King. I kind of want to be that person that says this may be my favorite Tom King property. Ooh. Which I know is very bold to say.
A bold statement, yeah.
But I really like this, because even though it is Supergirl and like she's 21, she has this like old soul to her. Somebody who's traveled and been around. She knows what she's doing. She's very confident, but she's also kind of tired of the being a superhero. And she's like, I've done all this before. I know what I'm doing. And the thing that I like about this so far is each issue, as they're hunting down this guy, each issue is kind of a different part of the adventure on a different planet. And this one is quite interesting because it kind of touches on, like, I felt very much like this was going to be heavy on social commentary, and then it kind of, back half of the issue jumps into like more of a sci-fi reasoning for it. I don't want to give it away, because I think if I start to even tell the story, you probably will know where it's going to go. But I highly recommend this book. It is written like a novel. Yes. Because it's told through diary entries of this other character who kind of pushed Supergirl into this adventure. And she uses a lot of words that I was definitely like, oh, I should probably Google this word, because I'm not 100% sure.
And That seems to be where Tom King is going. If we get a Tom King novel in the next 2 years, I wouldn't be surprised, because all of, like, Rorschach and Adam Strange, the Strange Adventures, like, they've both kind of moved to this novelesque type storytelling, more so than even before. And, I mean, Mr. Miracle and The Visions, like, were not novels at all. But Tom King is moving in this very novelistic approach. Even Rorschach was written as one solid piece, and then it was just broken up. And so, if we get a Tom King novel, I'm not going to be surprised. It's definitely coming in some capacity. I don't know what it'll be about, but I think in the same way that, like, Charles Soule just recently, a couple years back, did a novel, I think we're going to see a Tom King one soon. I would not be surprised, because he seems to be playing with the idea of prose a lot more.
And he does it a lot in this.
And a lot in that book. And so I think that I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens. And I will buy it. 100%.
Yes. Yeah, I will pre-order it. Because, there is a lot of writing in this book, but it's done so well. And I'm enjoying just how great Supergirl has been in this book. I think she is a total badass. You know, she's like, it's just no fucks given Supergirl.
And honestly, it was probably from Future State, like, it was honestly tied for first. Like, the Future State Superwoman of story was really tied with Yada Fleur for me for my favorite Future State stories. That Future State Superwoman with Clara was just absolutely, I mean, first of all, Marguerite Savage's art needs to be
Next
on everything.
Level.
But the story was just so good, and finding, like, taking that character and working it backwards like Tom King is doing right now is something I think that is just going to be a phenomenal story, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yes, and if Tom King wants to ever, after these 8 issues, go back to Supergirl, I'm on board. Yeah. 100%.
Oh my gosh. Have you read any of this?
I haven't. I know this is the last issue for now. This will be a trade one for me. There's another podcast that I listen to, and one of the guys on there was like, this is one of the best books of the year, hands down.
This book, this is Home by Julio Anto. Oh my gosh. This book is absolutely phenomenal. When I read issue 1, I cried. I was like, this is so well done. It is such a beautiful book. It's saying all of the things that are necessary to say. I've had so many teachers come in who have said, I need something to give to my English language learners. And I'm like, who will feel like they identify with stuff. And I've given them this book because this is the story of, and issue 1 starts with a mother and son from Guatemala immigrating to America. And when they arrive here, they're trying to come and stay with the sister-in-law. So they already have family here, and they're been told, like, oh, you show up, you fill out your application, you get to go stay with your family. And then they get here, and they are immediately separated and put in cages. And it's such an on-topic, crazy, like, this, you know, they deal with all of it point blank, very first issue. And then you find out that the little boy has a superpower. And the story becomes a story about a little boy with superpowers who's on his own, lost in America. And yet still, you see this narrative run through the whole story. There's a scene in there where they're coming for them, and they're automatically like, oh, he's dangerous, we know he's armed, we know that he is violent, we know he's done this, and he's 8.
Right.
And they're like, he's gonna attack, like, he's gonna attack this, and you like hear the media spin on it before anything has ever happened. This little boy has done nothing. He's just sitting in his apartment, like, trying to hide. And these stories are being told about him, and they're like, already like, you can act with deadly force, you can do this. And when we get to these later issues, this is issue 5, we see members of his family, and I got in a conversation with one of our volunteers/subscribers who is our amazing Chongo. He does all of our art for our children's workshops and stuff, and he and I and the creator of this book all got into a conversation on Twitter because we were talking about how much we love the other members of the family who have this, like, cloak and dagger, like, hawk and dove almost dynamic between them. And we hear in this issue this reference to this work that they've been doing. And then it ends and the creator's like, okay, well, we'll be back later. And we were like, hold up. You just gave us all these new characters who are badass, and then you're like, well, I gotta take a break, but we'll be back. We were like, no. We need to know about these new characters. We need to know everything about them. Like, please tell us that you are actually coming back. Like, this isn't one of those, like, oh, we'll be back, maybe, if it does well. Because we know this is doing great, because everybody is picking this book up. They're loving it. Everybody who's checked it out has fallen for these characters. And he's like, no, we are definitely coming back. You will learn more about these members of the family. You're gonna see more of them. And we're like, good, we need this. Because, again, the story is it's emotionally driven. It's got that. And he even says in his letter at the end of this issue, he never thought of this as a political statement or a political book. He thought of telling the story of this little boy and what he would actually experience.
Right.
Like, it's just a human story about.
And it just happens to fit into the world that we are, currently in. And
that it just happens to be something that you can politicize now, but that's not the story. The story is the heart of this family and this experience, and it's an experience story. Right. And it's so beautifully done. And if what he's taking a break for is so that he can go create other titles and we can get more from this creator, I am 100% here for that, because we need to hear this voice more and more.
Right.
And I can't wait. And also, if we wanted to Vertigo give this creator Border Town and let him bring it back, I would 100% be in favor of that as well.
Ooh.
Because that would be great if we could get a creator who could speak to that and tell a wonderful story. I would love to see that book come back.
Interesting. Yeah, I've heard great things. This would be one of those I pick up and trade, because everything I've heard is great, and I am more intrigued. I think it's awesome that the creator wasn't even trying to do a political book, and yet the message is there.
It's so strong, and it's beautiful.
So you still have that, political. It's very much something you can talk about now, and yet the story, there's a whole other part of the story about family and other things as well.
It's a very strong family story. If you are a Marvel fan and you're picking up Reptile, which I know you all are, because I am almost completely sold out of it, but if you are a Marvel fan who's picking up Reptile, pick up Home. It's very similar in the family-esque and the emotional, cultural story that you get in Reptile. This is another one that you need to pick up in that same vein. I got another book for you. Very excited about Man-Eaters the Cursed. This is the sequel to Man-Eaters, yet not really. It's kind of a spin-off. We do see we see some of the same characters, still the same creative team. And what I love about this is actually like a summer camp horror story. Mm-hmm. And we're starting to see what that actually means, but it also feels so much like just a blend of Spy Island and Man-Eaters together, including the advertisements for sand fleas and the continuous conversation about the sand fleas being a problem. In this issue, we learn what craft camp really is, and my favorite thing is that all of the kids at summer camp have disappeared, to give you a little bit of that, and Maud, who is from the original Man-Eaters book, is left alone except for this kid who came from football camp, which is on the other part of the island. And so these two have teamed up and they're walking around, and the kid from football camp, who is walking around in the football helmet the whole time, is like, well, what is craft camp? Like, what do you do? And Maud starts listing things, and it starts out like normal craft camp stuff, like, oh, well, we make this and this and this, and then it just divulges into witchcraft, like, essentially, like, it's like, oh, and then we do this, and like, oh, we have these like spells that we do in this, and he's like, that sounds like witchcraft, and she's like, duh, what do you think craft camp means? And I was like, I see what you did there. Craft camp. Yeah. Totally didn't see that as it. And then there's this beautiful ad, which if you will hold it up, or Matt zoom down.
I got it.
where the Vanity Fair cover of the magazine, it's absolutely great. It's like Craft Camp celebrates 150 years by marching on the state capitol and pointing witch hats. And I was like, yay! I love this. And the ad, which is on the other side of the page, like the actual flyer for Craft Camp, has them like doing a seance next to all of the stuff where it's like, please pack these things. It's like a completely normal summer camp list, but there's a seance happening, like a demon summoning or something, like at the same time. So it's pure Chelsea Kane ridiculousness and that mixed media aspect that she's been doing in all of her books since Mockingbird, honestly. But at the same time, we've got a really great, like, what's gonna happen summer camp murder mystery horror book kind of thing going on,
which is always a genre
that I'm sold on.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do love Chelsea Kane. I feel like advertisement should maybe be her second calling.
Yes.
If she's not already in advertisement. But I enjoyed Maneaters. I haven't started reading this one yet because I think I still need the last trade. Because there was 3.
There were 3
right?
trades of Maneaters.
So I only thought there was going to be 2. So I never picked up that third one. So
we
I need
have
to.
it.
Okay, perfect. And then I can read this one because I think everyone should read Chelsea Kane books.
Absolutely. And all of them.
Yes, all of them.
May I have some more wine?
Yes, of course. And just keep the bottle.
Okay.
Just take the bottle. That's yours.
This is the only time that you filled it up. Don't act like you... Okay, first, also, your name is Phil. Your job is to fill stuff up. Okay, don't act like that's not in your name.
How dare you?
How dare you, sir?
My family name.
Your family name is your last name, not your first name.
That's not necessarily true.
I guess it's not true.
You know, there are certain names
Right, you
that
could be a junior.
get carried. I'm not, though.
Right, so see, now you're just lying to
I
the
know.
general public.
I know. I'm sorry, Bat City family.
This is Moths. This is issue 3 of 5, I believe. 3 of 6. Oh. This is a part of the Resistance universe. If you guys don't know, you can grab your drinks if you watch Bat City stuff all the time, because apparently you guys at home drink along when we mention AWA Upshot. AWA Upshot really got its start with Resistance, which is a story about a pandemic that kills 400,000 people. The people who get the pandemic disease but don't die get superpowers. Within those superpowered people, there is a subsect of them that are called moths. And the reason they're called that is because their power only lasts for 6 months. Once they activate their power, they will burn out and die after 6 months of using their power. So they have a small window to accomplish everything that good or bad that they could do with their power. It's not all the superheroes, it's just the ones that are specifically the moths. And this is the story of one girl who activates her power, and that power is that she can make people feel what she's thinking and use it to, essentially heal people or save people or do, she can literally make her, it's an empath of, extreme levels. If she thinks, I feel healthy and I feel wonderful, then you're suddenly healed of whatever disease you have. So in this particular issue, she helps a blind person start to see because she thinks about seeing things and their beauty. And
Interesting.
she dances and she thinks about how wonderful it feels to dance, and a woman who can't walk can suddenly walk. So it's such an interesting... J. Michael Straczynski is building this entire world. Everything in the Resistance universe is being built by J. Michael Straczynski. He's written all of the spin-offs, all of the main title. So he basically gets to build the entirety of this superhero universe for this publishing company, which is kind of cool.
This art is extremely wild.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel. It's very realistic, but also painted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's a complete computer, it feels like watching looking at a video game. Or
right.
When they made the Final Fantasy VII, the Advent Children movie,
Yes.
It feels like
Yes.
watching Advent Children,
Yeah.
which is a beautiful movie. But that is what I think of when I see this, is that it looks a lot like Advent Children.
And is the artist on this book doing other... Like, am I going to see this art throughout AWA?
He's doing a lot of the Resistance books.
Okay.
So that, to keep that universe kind of in its own thing, we're seeing his art on a lot of those books.
Interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of AWA Upshot, Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal, is back with another issue. This is Garth Ennis, and he is writing a story about a pair of sisters, one of them who is a time criminal and the other who is a time cop, and they are attempting to there's a plot to destroy the world, and these people have to stop it, essentially, or bring it on. This issue, okay, so the whole series is freaking ridiculous, okay? Like, there's nothing, no other way to describe it.
Covered.
But this issue introduces Marjorie's best friend in the criminal world, who was also like the maid of honor at her wedding, who is a velociraptor. So, if you need to know what this book is about, that's what it's about. And yet, at the end of the issue, all I cared about was this freaking raptor and her feelings. I was like, oh, and she doesn't speak. She makes velociraptor noises.
Oh my god.
She is not a talking velociraptor. She is just a raptor who makes raptor noises, but Marjorie understands what they are. And, like, there is a scene, and I might have to steal this really fast. I know you're going to zoom in. Sorry. But there is a scene where Marjorie's talking about her terrible wedding, or the guy that she married who was terrible, who's not Satan. His name is Stan, but he looks like the devil. But you see in the background, because Marjorie says, well, you never liked him anyway, and you see the face of this velociraptor bridesmaid in the background of the wedding, being the judgy friend who's like, ugh, I hate him. And I don't know why, but that just really, like, this velociraptor, like, she was the character that I like the most in this whole series now. Like, look at this face, Phil. Like, this picture of the wedding, and she's making that face. Like, and then she's got, like, the sad face. Oh, she's this raptor. She's the freaking best. I'm sorry. Read this issue alone just for the raptor. She's awesome. I want to be I'm actually sad now that I don't have a raptor for a best friend.
I mean, you never know.
Right there, so we are not doing a giveaway yet. We have more books to talk about. Jesus.
Button got hit.
Don't know where that came from. Don't get excited, guys. Your prize is still to come. Nocterra issue, whatever we're on. 6.
Wow.
So that means a trade is coming soon, and I'm so excited for all of you who have been trade waiting, because this book has been so much better than I ever thought it was going to be. This is possibly my favorite Scott Snyder work of all time. I know Corvallis is really good and all of that, but I did not think this book was going to be good. I'm going to be honest. And I was like, oh, but it every week gets better. And the shift that he makes in this book, in this issue, I mean, is so good. This is a great family story. This is a great, there's a huge, wonderful, like, massive world being built. There's the monsters. Basically, if you don't know, Nocterra is about a world where the sun has gone missing. And if you are in the darkness too long, you become basically like a wraith. Awesome. And you kill people. And it doesn't, some people it takes over slowly and some people it doesn't. And our two main characters, when they were kids, their parents got into it. And like, so did like everybody else. They call it the big like PM because the sun went missing. It is amazing. And our main character, like the first issue, she talks about how she was born mostly blind. Like, she could not see until she was like 6 years old. And so she talks about like the darkness in it and how she was used to the darkness. And so when this world came about, it was something that she was like prepared for. And yet nobody could really be prepared. And again, every issue of the story just gets more in depth, and the world gets a little bit bigger, and the emotions get higher, and the double crosses and the twists and the turns. Like, this is a really, really well done book. And a lot of people were like, I don't know. Like, and they went on the Shannon rule of 3, like on issue 1. They were like, I don't know if this is for me, but I'm going to try Shannon rule of 3. And by issue 3, they were like, can I be subscribed to this book? I was wrong. This book is great. And we have several subscribers who they're like, when this book is out, it's the first one I read at this point.
Interesting.
So, we have a subscriber who came in, got his books, the next day came back and was like, have you read Noctera yet? And I was like, stop it! Like, no, I have not read it yet, but I need to because I don't want you to spoil anything. And then we finally got to have a conversation about it, and it's like, this issue is so good. And we say that every issue, like, this was the issue, and then it just keeps getting better. So.
Scott Snyder is a name that I usually trust as well.
It's true. I'm actually going to move that to books we don't really need to talk about because everybody knows what that is now at this point, and they're all buying it. So we're just going to talk about this. Go for it.
Bones Leopard, the best name of a creator in comic books right now. Issue number 3 of Save Yourself from Boombox. This is one that I've been enjoying because I guess kind of like Noctera, I feel like each issue this gets better.
It does. Like, the first issue started really light kind of on story, and I was like, oh, this is cool, but like, are we going to go further into it? And now this issue, I was like, there's a lot going on in this issue. Holy cow.
I feel like all of the characters in this are great. I love the character designs. I know the characters from the first issue. I think it's like AO, Phil, and there's the other one, the 3.
T one.
Yeah, I can't remember their names, but like, even though I know that they're not the good guys, I still love them.
Yeah, and if you don't know, this was pitched. This is Save Yourself, and it was pitched as, what if the Sailor Scouts came to our world in the real world and they weren't the good guys? Sailor Moon. Like, if they weren't the good guys, like, you know, and I was like, ooh, I am so sold on that premise. This is the book that I tagged you on the internet and was like, you're going to need this book. And you were like, yep, sign me up. And then it came in and we were both like, damn, they did it again.
Yeah, it's really good. I like the other main character, Gigi. Because it kind of, she's so lovable. And I like that, you know, even though she's thrown into this kind of crazy madness, she still has her head on straight. You know, like she's kind of leading this fight against these monsters. I guess they technically are.
Yeah.
And she, you know, and then in this issue you put her on roller skates.
Right.
Bonus points there.
I know, I was like, oh, this is that roller derby book that I needed. Like, we have a girl who used to be really into roller derby, and she is now become more of an agoraphobic kind of person, and this is really her, like, world breaking. She's starting to get out into it more, and I just love how excited she was. And speaking of Mae Whitman, I'd like Mae Whitman to play her in a movie.
Ooh.
Yes, I think that would be fantastic. Also, I love that Boombox has really solidified over and over again the normalcy of they them pronouns. Every Boombox book has really just accepted that and had a character who used the they them pronouns, and it's not been something that we needed to discuss. It's just been a part of the normal conversation. And so shout out to Boom and Boombox for continuing to just further that conversation without it being a conversation.
The thing that I also like, and I've noticed this in comics a lot lately, is I guess it kind of fits along the concept of like pansexuality, where it's less about the look of the person and more about who they are.
Yes.
You know, I liked I think it was either the first or maybe it was even the second issue where Gigi and Mia are talking, and she's like, I actually like you in your, like, kind of dragon-esque form.
Yeah, she's like, I think you're beautiful like that. And Mia's like, nobody thinks that that's beautiful. And Gigi's like, that never occurred to me to not think that was beautiful.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I love this so much.
Yes.
Like, Gigi's like, but you're still the same Mia, no matter what form you're in. And
Right.
I just like you.
Yeah, I'm into just who you are all together. And I like that message. I like that
Me
that's
too.
something that's kind of being pushed in comics. I feel like this book is going to just continue to pile on these great messages. And I'm curious to see how long it goes for.
Yeah.
Because I really do want this to be an ongoing.
If you like Netflix's She-Ra that has come out in the last couple
Yes.
years, this is your
Yes.
comic book. I mentioned even that it's like, the Sailor Scouts thing, and a lot of people are like, oh, so if I'm a Sailor Moon fan, I would say more so if you are a She-Ra fan from the new Netflix series, this is 100% your book. It has that same level of great adventure and great action, but also those acceptance messages for ourselves and each other. And the way it's done is exactly like She-Ra. And also, if you didn't see the Netflix She-Ra show, you should just turn this off now and go watch that, because it's one of the best shows ever, and you should watch it.
I do support that as well.
Yeah.
As much as I would like for you to sit here and look at my beautiful face, that She-Ra show is pretty fantastic.
Pretty phenomenal. Second Chances. Did you get to read this?
I did. Mainly because this cover is fantastic.
This cover sold me on that. Yeah.
And then I opened it up, and the first 2 or 3 pages starts out like almost every noir film.
Mm-hmm.
The black and white. He even says a few of those one-liners where you're like, oh my god, I've heard this before.
I was sitting in my office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the phone rang, and you're like, oh, here we go. And then it gets to a point where this book kind of takes an interesting turn. The main character has a business called Second Chances, where he basically fakes your death and then slowly helps you kind of start building your second life. And one of his clients, shit just hits the fan.
A lot. And it's one of those where it's like there's some demonic stuff happening, and there's some real world stuff happening, and it all merges together, and it just becomes a thing so fast.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with the artwork here. Sometimes I kind of tend to be turned off by the black and white books, but I do really like the art in this book, and I like the kind of demonic aspect of it. I'm really tied into that. There's a moment in this book where I think she's hallucinating.
Yeah.
And she views him as a demon, and it just looks cool. It looks
super cool.
It looks really cool. Based on how this issue ends, I have no idea where this is going.
I have no idea what's happening at all, but I still want to read the next issue.
Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely into, and I want to try and find that. Actually, I'll show this one, because I thought the kind of, are they kabuki masks? Is that the term? Is that the correct term for those masks? I like the design of those assassin characters. I hope they come back.
Yeah.
And I feel like they will. I feel like this can be one of those books that it'll slowly kind of roll out what's going on. You'll start getting more and more piece by piece. And I like the main character. He's kind of snarky, little bit of a know-it-all kind of. But, also...
And you get that true noir, the ending,
Yes.
where he's like, well, shit.
Yeah.
I guess this is how it's gonna be. And
Yeah.
you just, feel like you just watched, the episode of a, some kind of classic, detective show, in that sense of, he really wraps it up exactly the way you would expect it to wrap up for...
And I feel like this is definitely a book done by somebody who loves the genre of noir films.
100%.
So this will be a book that, I will definitely continue to read.
We have 2 oversized books. One's a one-shot. One is the lead-in to a series, essentially.
Ooh, okay.
So, God of Tremors. This is an Aftershock, which, Aftershock One Shock.
Actually, I think it only says one shot this time.
I know, I'm kind of sad, because
yes.
One Shock is the most genius thing that Aftershock does. I was a little sad. But this is Peter Milligan, who is writing a ton of amazing things.
Out of Body.
Out of body. Yeah. Oh man, and I believe something else, and I can't remember what it is. But yes, he's got another really great one out right now too. But this book, was a lot.
This was a lot, and I think I got maybe a third of the way through this, and I was a tad bit uncertain if this was going to be enjoyable. Who has demons of his own, but he kind of pushes them on his family, because he's so tied in the idea of sin and how bad it is. And the kid has epilepsy.
And this is done in, like, when epilepsy was something we didn't know what it was.
Right.
And they're just now doing the research. Like, the science behind epilepsy is just starting to come out. So, it's still the time where people thought, like, oh, you must have the demons in you.
Right.
Like, possessing you because you're having epileptic fits.
Yeah, and one thing that he briefly touches on in this book is, the whole God-fearing man kind of pushing against science, but maybe starting to realize that science holds a lot more weight than you would think, which I thought was interesting. And then this book just kind of goes into this weird turn. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm not fully sure what is going on with this god of Tremors.
And then the third act kind of makes it all come together in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm here for the comeuppance moments that there's so many of.
Yes. Most definitely.
Was definitely here for those comeuppance moments. And again, like you said, like I was like, I've seen that, you've seen this before, and it's a lot to take in that first third. And I kept thinking it was gonna get even worse at times, and I was like, thank you for not pushing some of those things as where I thought you might push them.
Yeah, and I kind of felt that way too, when I was like, ooh, this is either gonna end badly and I'm not gonna be here for it, or they're gonna swing back around and it'll work itself out. I also like that on this page that I have open is that he mentioned the kid when he meets the god of Tremors. He's like, oh, he mentions God. And he's like, I was here long before your sexually repressed deity. And I was like, oh, I'm in.
I know. I was like, all right.
This is cool.
Where are we going?
Yeah, like, this is a god I'll worship.
Right. We're not here for sexual repression. I was like, good for you.
Yeah.
I'm here. Right, and God of Tremors. Like, I was like, oh, that means multiple things in this book. And they keep talking about that. They use the duality of the term, like Tremors, of course, being for an epileptic kid, and then Tremors being in dealing with the sexual repression and the shake, that like the uncontrollable urge, and he does give it this duality of conversation, and there is that what's real and what isn't. There is a book that came out not that long ago called Wellington, which also had a lot of this like classic like conversation of this classic Victorian literature-esque type feel, and this has a lot of that, like, we're writing on the moors, we don't know what's happening, like, you've got to follow society's proprietal standards. And one of the things I love is the mother character in this book.
As do I. Yeah,
she just does not care what, like, she puts her child first at the risk of herself so many times, and I'm like, I love seeing her just continuously like, no, I'm gonna do the right thing even when it's going to destroy me as a human. And she was a great, like, just, I loved her character, and I love what they did with her fighting those battles for him.
Yeah, I definitely appreciated that. This is one of those books that's going to make you hate the patriarch, especially 19th century patriarchy.
100%.
Where you're going to be like, man, I really hope that none of these people have anything good happen to them, even beyond this book. Like, the people who live past these pages, I'm like, I hope the death that you receive is horrible, because you're all assholes.
And I love that she, like, even has, like, or we even see that a whole conversation where he's like, oh, well, we know that that's witchcraft, and she's like, honey, there's no
Yeah.
such thing. Like, there's just women who help people.
That was a long time ago.
Like, that was a thing that, yeah, like, move on. And I'm like, I love that because it's the 19th century and it's all that time period where everybody was like, ooh, but witches. And she's like, okay, it's literally a lady who just understands science and holistic medicine. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
She went to craft camp, obviously.
Yes. But yeah, I highly recommend this. I think it's great. $7. You get a whole story. It's big. It's oversized, so you get to really enjoy this art. And I think it finishes well.
Yeah.
I think everything that I would want in an oversized one shot I got.
Right. And, you know, like, if you're into books like Wuthering Heights and all of that time period, like, read this.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know. This actually did not come out this week. It came out last week, but we didn't have a live stream last week. And this was a free comic book day title, too. There was a portion of this for free comic book day. And then there's more to come. But this is White Ash from Scout. And honestly, I just brought it because I wanted to touch it. This is the softest feeling comic book I've ever touched in my whole life. And I just want to, like, touch it all the time. But I'm going to give it to you to do that instead.
Yes, thank you. I remember skimming through the free comic book day issue. I didn't actually read it.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of skimmed through it and I was like, you know, I don't really think this is for me. I am 100% into this book. Everything, and I'll tell you this, I'm not going to spoil it, but that last page, perfect. I was laughing so hard. I was like, yes, this is amazing. I've never been a huge fantasy fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's gonna open it up for you, and I didn't know this was a fantasy book.
I didn't either.
I didn't know what this book was about because it doesn't give you anything. All it talks about is how this is a story about a guy who lives in a mining town and he wants to get out and he wants to go to college. So it's like, oh, this is a modern book about a guy who lives in a mining town, doesn't want to be there. I'm actually intrigued by that. That was enough of an intrigue for me. But I was like, but it's called Mythic Edition, so it's got to have, and it's got fancy, like, you know, fantastical fonts and stuff. Where is this going? And then it just goes.
Yeah, and I was a little concerned because, like I mentioned to you, right off the bat, it seems kind of corny in the sense, like, the first few pages, there's a shirtless guy and a girl, and it plays like it's the intro to every porn flick out there. Yeah. And you're like, oh, God, this book is going to be terrible. But it works in this situation.
Works for it. And then the last act, which we are not going to tell you anything about.
No.
Was such a twist. I was like, oh, this is all right. I'm in. I didn't think I was going to be here. And then I read it, and I got to the end, and I was like, okay. And I was like, Phil, I need you to read this. Like, yes. You have to. And I almost want to go back and look at the Free Comic Book Day book because I feel like that Free Comic Book Day book is not going to give you enough to sell the book.
Yeah, because I doubt you're going to get everything that's in this.
You're not going to get everything, and you need everything, or you won't be sold.
I honestly feel like I would be paying the $9.99 for that last page.
Yeah.
And actually, the last
like 4 pages.
Few pages.
Yeah.
Because the female character that you kind of hate at first.
Right.
You're like, oh, here comes, like, you know, the spoiled rich
love-struck teenage girl.
Yeah, like, you know, the way they dress her, you're like, oh, she's gonna have zero personality. And nope.
Not the case.
Turns out she's gonna be pretty cool.
She's gonna be my favorite character.
Yes. Like, yeah. Oh, God, I want to talk about this.
I know! We'll talk about it afterwards, because we haven't had a chance to talk about what actually happened since we both read it. So we'll talk about it without spoiling it for y'all later. But, oh my gosh, like, and it is an ongoing. There is
Is it? Okay, cool.
I don't know how long. It could be a miniseries, but I did just see today that White Ash number 2 or volume 2 or whatever they're calling it. I think they're considering this like a whole first volume, but the next part of it is coming up. It is on the order.
Is it this size as well?
No, I think it's going to be normal issues from now on.
I want all of them to be like this.
I know.
I did enjoy the oversized Mythic edition. All my comics.
Yeah. I know.
It would be annoying for organization purposes, and then I would have to get even larger boxes.
But they're just, and again, just come to the store and touch it.
Yeah,
it's
it
so
is a very
it's
nice,
so smooth and soft. It's this soft, like, crushed paper feel. I don't know. You just need to come touch this issue.
I feel like you're getting your $10 worth. I know
You-
sometimes it's hard to pay that for a book, but it is oversized.
There's a lot in there.
Yes, and like you said, I almost feel like this is kind of a condensed volume 1.
Yeah, it's basically a trade, like, honestly.
Yeah, and I promise you'll get to the end and you'll be like, okay, I'm on board with everything that this is.
Yeah, I'd like to tell you that we have 3 favorite books of the week left, or new books of the week left, whatever you want to say, and therefore it will go fast from here. But I'm going to lie to you if I say that, because they are amazing.
Yes.
Homesick Pilots. Holy shit, this issue was so good.
Oh my gosh.
I got in trouble because I snapped a section of this to a bunch of our friends after I read it. And they were like, is that a spoiler? And I was like, no, I promise it's not a spoiler. I just really needed you to see this scene. And it was the scene in there where the punk band is talking.
Yes.
I was like, I just needed everybody to read that scene, whether you read this book or not. But
if you're a supporter of the punching Nazis mentality,
just read this issue.
then this is the issue for you.
If you like comics,
If you like comic books.
you are, because of Captain America #1.
Well, yes. Yes.
Right.
But to kind of get it in this, like, cool punk rock package,
Yeah.
you know, it's really great. I continue to say that Casper Wingard is one of the best artists solely just for this book.
Just in this book. And if you don't know, Homesick Pilots is the story of a band, a punk band, that is called Homesick Pilots, and they are they're in this rivalry with another band, the Nuclear Bastards, and they want to find the best place to have their show. And Nuclear Bastards do a show in a bowling alley, so Homesick Pilots are like, let's do it in the haunted house. And they go into the haunted house, and shit happens. And it's bad. And now one of the members of Homesick Pilots is now tied to this haunted house forever to help spirits of very, very tormented souls find their way home. And that sounds like a crazy premise, but somehow it works. And
it does.
Further we get into the story, the better it gets.
I mean, I was sold on this book from issue 1, and actually Matt was the one who was like, have you read this yet? Have you read this? I think you'd really like this book. And it's easily...
You dragged.
You did.
It took me a minute, and then I read it, and I thought, okay, this is a top 5 for me.
Yeah.
I fell off.
Without a doubt.
Right.
And it's a bummer because, I know Chad picked up the first volume and was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. Chad, if you like that first volume, it only gets better.
The second volume has been so much better than the first volume, and the first volume was great.
Yes.
But the second volume has, like, the first volume was like, hey, let's just play with the concept.
Mm-hmm.
The second volume is like, oh, by the way, there's also a story.
Yeah.
And that story is
Yes.
really, really strong. The friendships get bigger. The rivalry comes back into play in a completely different way. The story of the house. This issue, the front part of it, where it talks about the different, like, where she's just recounting different people who died.
I like that. The items in the house.
It was
and
so
the stories
good.
tied to them. Yeah, it's great because in each issue you get a little bit of everything. You get some backstory. You're building towards kind of, maybe the final act. I really don't know how long this series is going to go for.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like they're getting closer.
I feel like if it's more than 12 issues, I'll be surprised.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's super great.
Which page are you showing?
It's
that's
the
my
punk
page.
rock
That's
one,
that's the one I snapped that I got in trouble.
Yeah,
so.
this is the one where, she's kind of talking about how trying to be simple and going back to the old way, remember when the good old days, like the whole concept that's just regression. It's not progression in any way.
Right.
Like if you look back, and it's true, if you go back in history books, they're never great.
No, and they're always talking about we need to go back to these good old days, and it's like, what good old days?
Yeah.
Like, and they never existed. Like, there's when we talk about like, oh, we have to go back to the good old days, we're talking about Leave It to Beaver. We're not talking about reality. We're talking about this like 1950s like
the
fake
white picket
world
fence
that we created. Yeah. Like, it's Pleasantville.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're like, oh, I want to live in Pleasantville. And I love this because it is a punk band, and this punk band is like screaming that, and you hear it in the like, oh, right, mate, like we gotta like do, like you just hear it in that voice the whole time, like they're like yelling into the microphone, like, yeah, this is how it's gonna be, and I'm like, it's so punk rock, and it's classic, it's great, and this book is so great.
Yeah.
And like you said, Casper's art is phenomenal. Yeah,
it's so fantastic, and I know we're about to... It definitely feels like it's ramping towards the third and final act, and I just know that what's going to come in the third act is going to be so awesome.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be so great. Yeah, I highly recommend this one.
Yeah, and we do have Volume 1 trades. I will tell you that again later. Speaking of great artists...
Yes, with a lovely Jenny Frison cover. Which was the only reason I picked this book up.
Oh boy, were you wrong.
I actually, for a brief moment, was like, I don't want to read any more new number ones because it's going to force me to have to subscribe to something else. And son of a bitch, I have to subscribe to this book.
Like I said, boy, were you wrong.
I have to subscribe.
When this book was pitched, it was pitched as a feminist... elitist Get Out, and I was like, go on.
Yeah,
I'm here. Whatever it is, I don't care. I'm here. Mm-hmm. And it's called Eat the Rich. I am 100% into something called Eat the Rich.
Yes.
And you're giving Jenny Frison the cover for issue 1. Mm-hmm. All of the things that you needed to say to get me to be in on this book, I was in. And then I read it. And what?
Who's the publisher?
Boom.
Of course.
Yeah. So expect something from me, Ross, this week. Thanking you.
I actually already talked to Ross
on
LinkedIn about this book and about Ma, which is coming soon. It has an amazing Megan Hutchinson Kate's variant for the cover B. This book, though, oh my God. Mm-hmm. It literally is. It's Get Out, but it stars a young girl who is... Like most millennials, she comes from a background where she doesn't have money. She's like, she's putting herself through law school. She's just trying to, like, be normal. And she's got this super rich boyfriend, and they are going to spend some time with his family in like a Martha's Vineyard type area. And she doesn't understand how this high society world works, and she's very nervous. And she has every right to be because, again, this is a Get Out type world. Yeah. And you should be nervous.
And the thing is, too, is kind of when you get to the house and you start being introduced to the rich people and the high society, you can already tell something is off.
Yeah, no. You know when you can tell something's off? When you can go back to this cover. When they told her that this dress was not beautiful,
yeah,
that's when they were off. Show the dress again.
Oh, pearls, they're so retro.
Yeah, that's so cute of you to bring it out. And they were like, oh, this dress, what a bold statement.
Yeah,
like, that's kind of a cute little dress. And I was like, that dress is gorgeous. I would wear that dress to everything. So I already don't like you, whoever you people are. And we can't even talk about what it is that they do.
No.
You need to read it. But there's a sense of dread the whole time. Like, she meets, and I will say, she meets, like, the housekeeper. And she does what so many of the people I know, what all of you would do. And, like, the housekeeper is, like, struggling with carrying the kid and doing something. And she's like, oh, my God, let me help you. And she's like, do not ever offer to help the help. If you offer to help the help, they will eat you alive.
Yeah.
And you just, the way the house, like, the nanny / housekeeper says it, you're like, this is bad. Like, this isn't a normal, like, they will eat you alive. There's something wrong with these people. And maybe it is just normal, eat them alive, but I don't know. like, you feel her dread, like, instantly, like, but isn't that just a normal thing that you should do? And it's like, no.
And the thing that I appreciate about this book, being somebody who deals with anxiety and has had panic attacks before, I like that the character deals with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she has a lot of anxiety and she's being thrown into this new world that she knows nothing about. And it feels like before they even get there, you know, the tensions are already high. The boyfriend is having panic attacks. So it already feels like from page 1 you're on edge.
Mm-hmm.
Because even like in her inner monologue, she's like, shit, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Shit, we should turn around. Like, this is not okay.
And then I like that you see a lot about who she is as a person, because she's like, well, if I'm so glad I'm not glad he's panicking, but I'm glad he's panicking, because if he's panicking, then at least I can focus on making sure
Right.
he's okay,
Mm-hmm.
and not focused on my own panic.
Right.
And I love that shows everything you need to know about her as a person instantly, because it's like, okay, well, I'll put my own fears aside so that I can take care of other people. And it's like, where is that going to how is that going to play out in the story? Because that's going to become a very big thing.
Yes.
This is very cinematic in the way it's written, too.
Yes, I could definitely see this becoming a movie at some point.
Right, Netflix, you got that Boom contract. We know you do.
Yes.
We've all heard that Boom gets Netflix get everything, first dibs at everything Boom writes. So, like...
Well, this is definitely one they've set up.
Yeah. And lastly, putting the sass in Assassins, Killer Queens #1. I told David Boer that this was going to be one of the books that I talked about so much on this live stream. If you don't know, David Boer is the writer and creator of You Should Get Your Sound Effects Ready for This, Canto. Yeah, I was going for like a bump.
I knew.
I didn't know what you were going to
It's
say.
okay. It's okay.
I knew I recognized the name. I was like, this looks familiar.
Yes, this is the creator, co-creator, writer of Canto, doing what he called that classic, like, 1970s pulpy space comic, but it's the gayest thing you'll ever read. And that is his quote about it, not me saying that. However, that is not wrong.
No.
It is fantastic, and it's supposed to be cheesy, and it does. It hits all of the points that he promised.
Yes.
And there are hinge otters.
I was just going to say hinge otters.
There are otters who work for... So the bad guy is a monkey.
Captain Bietti?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the bad guys, I guess I should
Yes.
say. And he has otters who work for him. So the henchmen are otters. So they're hinge otters.
Yes.
That's a great selling point. You should just accept that right now.
Yeah, that was hilarious because of course one of the assassins was like, I can't shoot them because they're adorable. Like, I don't want to do it.
And he's like, they're otters! Oh my god! And then,
Yeah.
like, the whole time, he's like, well, will there be more hinge otters? And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is just... David Boer's just writing in all of our thoughts right
Yeah.
now of, like, oh, are there more otters? Because that's why I'm here now.
Yeah, I think there was one point where the Captain Bietti, the monkey, is like, give me my spaceship back. And he's like, put the hinge otters on the screen. Let me see them.
Are they okay?
Yeah. I also love there's a scene where they go to a planet full of women,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy is just like, there's no men, not a single one. And like the whole time they're trying to like reveal the plot of this book and the mission they're gonna go on, he's like, but seriously, no guys?
Like,
And you're just like, dude, I love this character so much. Their back and forth banter,
it's so good.
it's so good.
Even in the narration,
Yes.
they give them back and forth narration banter, because they're like, is this the part where we have to tell everybody what the story is about?
Yeah.
Like, we just plot dump now, and they're like, yeah, well, you have to, because people
Mhm.
need to know what's going on. And they're like, okay, well, if that's how we're gonna do this, like, let's do it.
Mhm.
It's so great. It's 100% the opposite of Canto, except it's still full of hope. So, like, there's still this, like, hope and happiness and joy. But that was actually a conversation that I had with David and one of our subscribers on Twitter this week. Is he was like, I thought, like, our subscriber was like, oh, I thought that, like, you know, being Kanto, like, I was like, well, maybe this will be Kanto-esque, but this is definitely not Kanto. And I was like, I thought there wouldn't be room in my heart for any more books that weren't Kanto. But yet, there's still a sliver of space, and Killer Queens is like, ta-da! I'm gonna take it. And David Boer is like, you're welcome.
I feel like this is a good palate cleanser after reading Kanto. Like, you get all that heart and story, and then you're like, okay, my heart is heavy, maybe I cried a little bit, now I just want to laugh and have a good time, and this is the book to follow that.
Yeah. This is ridiculous in all the right ways.
Yes, and I'm fully on board. I love both these characters a lot. And
this is what I want the Wonder Twins to be.
Dark Horse.
Yeah. This is what I want from the Wonder Twins. When everybody's like, the Wonder Twins are ridiculous and they have this weird back and forth banter and like none of the stuff they say really makes any sense, but it kind of does at the same time. This is what that should translate to on paper. This is like the adult version of the Wonder Twins.
Yes, yeah. And I love both characters. It's hard to even pick a favorite because I feel like the guy character kind of early on was like the one that I wanted to,
but then
like,
she's a badass.
Because there's the scene where she's like, oh, everyone thought I was going to be a failure, yada yada yada, but no one ever mentioned how good I was going to look doing it. And I'm like, yes.
It's so good.
You are amazing. I was a big fan. This was actually the first book I read tonight.
It was the first book that I read this week.
Yeah.
But I've been anticipating this book for a very long time because if David Boer writes something, I'm going to pick it up and it's going to be one of my tops for a while. And I was like, this is the first book I'm going to read, and it's probably going to be the last book I talk about on the live stream picks of the week because it's probably going to be in the top. And he did not disappoint.
No, not at all. I'm on board.
So...
Definitely.
And it's an entirely queer team. Creative team.
Oh, really?
David posted that on his Instagram. It was an entirely queer creative team.
Interesting. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Woohoo! Prize! Thanks for going back to my sound effect, baby. I love you. We are going to give away this poster that Matt didn't look at, so hopefully he's okay with me giving it to you.
It's upside down.
It's upside down. You get an upside down poster. Congratulations.
It's Mark Brooks' Fantastic Four with this awesome Doom on the top here.
Right. It's all about the Doom.
Smooth. You can't see it. It's all glary. There you go.
Matt, what do you want from me?
Right. He can't.
You're already blocking my face.
Apparently that's what he wants from you. And you are going to get this poster if you can tell me the answer to this question. The first official comic convention was recorded in 1964. In what city did it take place? This, you can just start naming cities. But the first official comic convention was recorded in 1964. In what city did it take place? Thank you, Ram. Ram said you went upside down poster. Good one. I think I'm funny too, Ram. It is not Cleveland. Yes, Scott, it was New York City. Scott, you were getting this poster. It was actually called New York Comic Con. However, it is not New York Comic Con. That still exists. It was a different one. This is actually New York City was the first one officially to have a comic convention. However, small conventions like that did exist prior, but is the first one officially recorded as a comic convention. Sci-fi conventions, however, started in like the 40s, which was crazy. So, yeah, sci-fi conventions been around for a while. Not surprising, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. What was it, Orson Welles, who did I feel like after, kind of the War of the Worlds thing, I could see that.
Yeah, like everybody just wanted to talk about sci-fi stuff. I'm going to put
Aliens.
Those at the end. Yeah. All right. We're going to run through some really quick books that are in... We are going to run through really quickly some books that are in stock. The books themselves are not actually quick. I got a D in advanced grammar. Okay. Thank you. My advanced grammar professor is so proud of me for correcting that. Time Before Time. This is a time jumping story that is not about time travel in that sense. It's all about in the future, we realized that some of the places in the past were actually better, so we started wanting to go back to that, and it's all about corporatizing time travel.
Who doesn't want that?
Truth and Justice. Finally a Zatanna book! What are you doing, DC? Like, give me more Zatanna books. Where's my ongoing Zatanna series? Don't be a bunch of cowards. Give me a Zatanna series. I gotta stop reading Donny Cates' Twitter. Feminist Talking Gun, issue 4. This is the end of this story from Scout, and it's a book. It's adventurous. Things happen. A gun talks.
I'm into it.
It says bang a lot. Superman Red and Blue. This is issue 6. These are mini stories. They all are in red, white, and blue. If you want to show the art really fast, I just feel like you should.
There's a Matt Wagner-ish story in here.
These stories all get back to the heart of what
Tom
Superman
King.
really is about. There's Tom King one in this one. Well, I didn't get to read this yet, which is why it's in this pile and not in my picks of the week, because every week that I do read it, it's beautiful, and I put it at the top.
Also,
so.
I believe... Is this the one that had the Kevin Eastman cover?
Yes, it is. That's in your box.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do enjoy... like I said, I've said it before, I do like these kind of color-based stories.
Wonder Woman's doesn't make sense.
Wonder Woman's should have been red and gold. Or blue and gold. Or red and blue. But Superman's red and blue, so red and gold would have made sense. It doesn't make sense for it to be black and gold. You messed up, DC. Own it.
Okay.
Spider-Woman is back. Carla Pacheco is writing an amazing Spider-Woman story. She's given us the Jessica Drew we all love and deserve. Cecil Castellucci wrote this week's Black Hammer Visions. It's automatically amazing because Cecil Castellucci wrote it. You should read it.
Is it an anthology?
So, yes.
Yes.
And
this
it
one.
changes.
I've never been told.
Black Hammer Visions it's an anthology about different people / heroes in the Black Hammer world, because in Black Hammer lots of people have become superheroes. This is an anthology of different people. Different creators pick up every issue of Black Hammer Visions. There's been I believe there's been a Kelly Thompson and a Chip Zdarsky.
Jeff Johns.
This is the Cecil Castellucci, so therefore it is at the top of my list of books that you should read.
I think everyone should read the Black Hammer World books. They've been great.
There's some X-Men books out this week. X-Corp is back, and Way of X is also out, which is a great Nightcrawler story.
It's the last one?
Is it?
I
Oh,
believe
that's
so.
a shame. Reggie has an incredible Sinister War variant for issue 3 of Sinister War. This picks up immediately following Amazing Mary Jane. If you didn't read Amazing Mary Jane, you won't be lost, because just the first issue kind of references that. But Spider-Man, Sinister Six, Sinister everything, check it out. War of the Bounty Hunters, I'm giving you both at the same time because there's 2 more issues as a part of that story. This is the what happened after Boba Fett took Han Solo story of Star Wars.
How far along are we in this? We don't have to.
No, okay. This is important to note because I've had to help people at other places find this too. There is a checklist in the back, and it actually checks off where we are for the month. It's going to continue through October. IG-88 actually gets a title in October, which I'm really excited about. But it does check off where we are. What I don't like is it does kick off the titles that we've already had. They're not in here anymore. So the July titles are not listed on this checklist, which is a shame. But where you are right now and where you're going is still listed. It is a massive, I believe it's 42 books in the end.
I'm in for the omnibus.
Right.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. Mighty Morphin is back this week. I'm going to put this on that pile. Number 10, yeah. Or Legacy number 600 and something. Ram, I already put the Power Rangers book for this week in your box. Don't worry. Nightwing also back this week. This is Tom Taylor's Nightwing, which you are all enjoying, so you don't need me to tell you why you should. Iron Man, I was told this is a great story where Iron Man gets put in his place a lot, but one of the other cool things is that you get an Alex Ross cover for all of the issues.
Can't go wrong with that.
Marauders back again, issue 23, and these covers, people were literally torn on whether they wanted the variant or the regular cover so much for this one because both were gorgeous covers.
Is that Bishop?
I believe so. Gamma Flight with this classic homage to the Gotham, American Gothic thing. This
Daughterman.
this comes out of your Immortal Hulk. So if you're reading that, you need to get it. Guardians of the Galaxy is out this week, issue 17, with the most adorable Baby Groot cover. Buy it for the Baby Groot. Read it for the story. The Flash 773. This is the new writer has taken on fixing Wally West's problems. Good luck.
About time.
Good
We
luck.
need it.
Batman Secret Files. This is the Clown Hunter issue. So if you were a fan of James Tynion's new character Clown Hunter, this is a one-shot special on Clown Hunter.
True fan.
Big
fan.
Clown
That's in your
Hunter
box.
fan. Yes, I saw that.
Black Cat issue 9 is out. This is Black Cat and Star in this, and we are coming towards the end of Judd Mckay's big Black Cat run. We'll see what happens.
Moon Knight.
Right, that's why we're coming to the end of it. Batman Catwoman issue 6 is out. It's wonderful. It's Tom King. It's Mask of the Phantasm. Like, this is a Phantasm / Catwoman / Batman story. That's all. You just need to know that. Speaking of Batman Catwoman, this cover of Catwoman is gorgeous. Done by who, Phil?
Jenny Frizzle.
Jenny Frizen.
My girl.
Yes, and
Most definitely.
And on top of that, it's written by Ram V, so you know it's good. Extraordinary. This is V.E. Schwab. This is from Titans Comics. V.E. Schwab is one of the best YA and adult writers out there for all kinds of fantasy, and this is a great story about superheroes. We've got a Lex Luthor type character, but he actually has powers. His power is he can find everybody else that has powers, and he's trying to destroy them all. We've got a young teenage girl who can see the future, and she knows that he kills her, so now she's trying to kill him first. Great story. Zero issue was $1.
There you go. Good starting point.
King the Conqueror has a title. For all of you thousands of people who came in and asked me in the last month if we had a King the Conqueror title, and I said no, it'll be here soon. Guess what? It's here now. And Scotty Young did this adorable freaking cover. And we're all King the Conqueror. Because everyone is King the Conqueror.
I don't know anything about King the Conqueror.
Everybody's King the Conqueror.
There's a great song.
Is that all I need to know?
There's literally a song called Everyone is King the Conqueror, and it goes through all the people who have been King the Conqueror throughout time.
Oh, okay.
It's great. So there you go. Radiant Black issue 7 is out. I didn't bring this. I think you just flipped it upside down. I didn't tell you all about this earlier because literally we have like 30 subscribers to this book. This is a great story. Very super powered, very realistic. It's great. Moon Knight is back. You should just open it up to that spread. I don't know where it is, but you should. There you go. Come and worship Moon Knight. Also, this is just a really fun. This is Judd Mckay writing Moon Knight, and Judd Mckay is a great writer, so I know the story is going to continue to just get better and better as it goes along. He is going by Mr. Knight now, not Moon Knight, and there's a bunch of stuff going down in his neighborhood that he's supposed to protect, and we also are finding out that he is not the only person who is an what is the word I'm looking? Ambassador for this god.
I'm in.
Good story. And lastly, X-Men, Trial of Magneto. This is the most beautiful art germs, Scarlet Witch. All of the covers were gorgeous. I unfortunately had to buy 4 of them just because Wanda looks gorgeous on all of them. I had somebody come in this week and said, I saw that Trial of Magneto is coming out because they are putting Magneto on trial because Scarlet Witch died at the end of the Hellfire Gala. They just really want to give Wanda tragedy recently, huh? And I said, recently? No, they've always given my poor girl all of the tragedy in the world. And it continues. However, this is the second Hickman-verse X-Men title I have read since it started, because I was not in when House of X and Powers of X started. I did not read all of that, so I missed a lot of it. And this is, everybody was like, you cannot pick this up and read this, Shannon. You're going to be lost. Guess what? Wasn't. Figured it all out really quickly. So if you want to jump in right now, just do it. It's X-Men. You can piece it together. It's not like that hard to figure out what's what. Wanda is allegedly dead at the beginning of this. There is a beautiful moment where Quicksilver finds that out. It was so much like emotion, like it was great. There's also a moment where the original Brotherhood of all those guys, they come in and they actually like raise a toast to Wanda, and they're sitting there at a bar together, and it was like, these are some great moments. You didn't have to read the other 7,000 X-Men issues that have happened in the Hickman-verse to know that those moments were beautiful. I'm curious. I'll probably get lost as the event unfolds because I won't know all of the details, but I'm still in enough to read it because anything that has to do with Wanda, I'm on.
That's fair.
And also, I was talking about it, and one of our subscribers said Leah Williams is about to put some respect on Wanda's name, and I'm here for that. Let's see that actually happen because it's about damn time we respect Wanda.
I mean, there always should have been respect.
There should have. However, here we are.
Yeah.
Phil's just going to read it right now, guys.
No, definitely not. I read Hoxpox. I read Hoxpox, and then I started trying to read X-Men, and I said, no. This is too much.
You should have not read that and just jumped in here because apparently that were... The only other Hickman vs. X-Men title that I've read an issue of is there was the King in Black tie-over for Marauders had Kate... finding a group of people who were human trafficking, and Kate Pride was like, I'm not about this, and they're like, you're supposed to be a good guy, you can't do anything wrong to us, and Kate was like, I'm not gonna do anything wrong to you, I just don't have to save you. And she just left them all to die, and I was like, that's what's up kitty, I see you.
I am not reading any X-Men titles at all, but I do have issues of Hellions.
Nice.
Just for those silent covers.
And there are so many of you who are reading it. I feel like I've read it because so many people have told me, so I think that's why I might not be lost. Somebody came in and said it's because you have our volunteer Josh Finland giving you a complete recap of every issue. And I was like, you know what? That might be the case.
And the funny thing is with Josh that I love and appreciate is he'll be like, oh, have you been reading X-Men? I'm like, no. He's like, all right, let me tell you about the last 5 issues.
Yes.
Come on, I'm going to go smoke a cigarette, and I'm going to tell you all about the world of X-Men.
And it's wonderful.
Yeah, and he goes into detail, and he gives you commentary.
Be ready for the YouTube show that we give Josh someday to just reenact it.
Gosh.
Because that's my favorite thing, is he doesn't just tell you about it, he reenacts the issues. He's like, and then Mr. Sinister was like, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And I love it because I feel like I've read the issue, I feel like I walked inside of it, and I lived the issue, and it's wonderful. And if you haven't read anything, and you want to find out what happens, why there is a trial of Magneto, I feel like you could jump in. We might get all lost together later on, but hey.
But Josh Finland will just sit here and read it with Josh Finland next to you. And he'll point out every little thing like, oh, that's from this book. Yes,
and it's wonderful. So come into the shop if you did jump into Trial of Magneto and you're like, now I'm lost, come into the shop, ask for Josh on a day he's working. He will gladly fill you in on everything you need to know.
Yes.
I don't know what that sound effect was. Also, these Artgerm covers are just beautiful.
I wish I had sound effects to go with your sound effects. Like my feelings towards your sound effects.
Get in on this.
Right. Now you gotta get your own thing.
Yeah.
What do we got next? We have a prize! Prize! You gotta jump in on the prize, Phil. It's just the best.
Prize.
Well, that was great. We've got a copy of Silver City #1, which is a great book from Aftershock, who's celebrating their 100th issue anniversary in 6 years, because they launched in 2015 and they're already at 100 titles. We also got this copy of Thor, Son of Asgard, and you will get both of these books. Sorry, Phil, didn't mean to hit you. If you can tell me, the first free comic book day was launched to coincide with what superhero blockbuster movie? First free comic book day was launched to coincide with what superhero blockbuster movie? Fun fact, so Free Comic Book Day was actually created by a retailer who had heard about a freebie day that another industry had given away, and they were like, hey, that's a really good idea, and so they pitched it to a bunch of the publishers, and Image was like, no, that's a freaking genius idea. We should do, because the movies are popular, we should do this. Yes, Scott, once again, it was Spider-Man. Yes, Scott is nailing it on the prizes today. It was in 2002, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. The guy from Image was like, you know what, that's a great idea. Let's do it, but if we're gonna do it, let's do it when a big movie comes out, and that way we write on it. So Spider-Man came out literally the day before the first Free Comic Book Day in 2002.
Interesting. I do remember one of my favorite Free Comic Book Days was when Batman vs. Superman came out. Because I remember getting all of my comics, and then going and seeing the movie after.
Yes.
So.
What a great way to spend a weekend. Just fully embedded in comic books.
Yeah, what more do you want?
Joshua said he almost said Blank Man.
Ooh.
That would have been a good answer.
Yeah. That would have been a great answer.
I would have been here for it. So, congratulations, Scott. Also, I can't wait for you to read Silver City, because it is a great indie book that is flying under the radar right now, but it shouldn't be. You should definitely be picking it.
Indie books are.
As they often are. I had a customer come in today and said, hey, if I had a question about indie books that are out right now, do you think you could tell me whether or not they were good? And I was like, I feel so sorry for you for asking the wrong person and yet the right person that question. And I was like, what books do you want to know about? And he actually asked about Radiant Black and Trigger Keaton.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, good choices. Let me tell you why. And then he was like, what else would you recommend that's indie? And I was like, nope, you did not want to open that can.
How much time and money do you have?
I was like, I literally said, how much time do you have? Because I was like, I'm going to tell you about a lot. And he was like, can I just take pictures of all the books that you just mentioned? I was like, please do, because I'm going to keep going. You have to say stop.
Yes.
Like, that's how that works. Because, as you all know, there's a reason they call me SmallPressShann. I will talk about indie books until I run out of air, which has yet to happen for an asthmatic kid. You would think that would happen way more frequently. Trades. That's cute, Joshua. You read that Tokyo Ghost.
Yes.
Or watch it, whatever you're doing. Trades we've got. So everybody keeps asking us what this is, so I had to bring it. The Marvel Masterworks are actually, they're doing Mighty Marvel Masterworks that are small, like we call them backpack size books. And this is X-Men 1 through 10. Thank you. I was like, I want to say 10, but I didn't want to. The original
Yes.
X-Men, the 1960s X-Men books.
You get that cool Magneto.
First Scarlet Witch.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I'm all in for a trade that fits in my backpack.
Yeah, and it's only $16
That's sweet.
for the first 10 issues.
Which you will never find anywhere for
No.
$16.
I will be shocked if you find even an issue 10 at a 0.5.
Yeah, you ain't getting that for $16.
No. So this is a good way to read classic X-Men, which I did enjoy. I like those early X-Men.
Yes, Gomez, we got you.
Oh my god.
Apparently the camera is also going to Gomez's box.
The excitement.
I love it. Okay, we're back. Getting
Was it fun? Was it fun?
It was crazy.
Now we need the scramble
Right.
noise.
Gideon Falls, the end. This is the conclusion of Gideon Falls.
Yes.
That's your book.
It is the book. It is my favorite book. It ends really well with a nice oversized issue. And actually, this is just the last issue.
Yes.
With bonus material. $12.99, so you're going to get that and a little extra stuff.
Yeah.
So, yes, this book, Josh Finlan. I talked about this book so much that Josh Finlan went out and immediately started reading it.
Nice.
And was enjoying it.
Scott asked, how do the Marvel Masterworks compare to the Essential Trades? And that is a Matt question.
The Essential Trades are black and white and are $20 and come with, I think, 20 or 30 issues.
The Mighty Marvel Masterworks are essentially the Marvel Masterworks hardcover editions put into paperback version and a little bit smaller. So you get a high-def reprint of 10 issues rather than an Epic collection, which is 20 issues. So you get 10 instead of 20 at a smaller size for a much less price. Because Epic collections are 40 and these are 60.
And Scott, okay, good.
And they're color.
I was going to say, Scott, if you can't hear that, let us know and we'll repeat it. We have copies of Saga in stock. And that's something in Volume 1 of Saga. People ask me all the time, do you have it in stock? Well, I do. And it's $10?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yes, $10 for, I think it's the first 6 issues?
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. $10. And I have a conversation every day of my life about how it's great that Image and AWA Upshot have $10 trades. I'm saving that for
Also,
the end.
Brian K. Vaughan, I know you're watching this right now.
Obviously.
Please bring it back. I can't wait any longer. I need that in my life again.
Speaking of $10 Image trades, this is that first volume of Homesick Pilots, also $10.
Yeah.
And another Image $10 trade. The first 6 issues, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, of Radiant Black, which were only on issue 7. So grab that trade and then the first issue of the new volume. This is how you catch up on Radiant Black. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's loving it. This is your chance to catch up for only $10.
A steal. You're paying $2, less than $2 an issue.
We have copies of Ice Cream Man. This is not a $10 Image trade.
No, $16.99.
Right. Ice Cream Man. You're not getting copies. I have once a week somebody comes in and says, do you have the first issue of Ice Cream Man? Because this looks like a cool series and I want to get in on it. And I'm like, no, that's a $1,000 issue. Even if you find it, don't open it. But I do have this trade. One of the things Matt and I try to keep in stock at all times are all the trades of Ice Cream Man. This is one of the best series out there. It's an anthology. You can pick up any trade you want and start there. But we have all of them. 1 through 6, we have all of the volumes that are out in stock right now. You need an Ice Cream Man trade, hit us up. We have it.
Also, I'll sell you my first issue.
For $1,000.
$1,500.
There you go.
eBay prices.
There you go. 1 week in the library. This is a $10 Image trade.
Yes.
This is W. Maxwell Prince workshopping what Ice Cream Man would be. Honestly and truthfully, this is about a guy who lives in a library and he picks up a book, opens it up, and has an existential crisis towards every book. The Wednesday is my favorite because on Wednesday he tries to get into the real world and he ends up in corporate America and was like, this cannot possibly be what the real world is like. I want to die. Please just kill me. And this is a fantastic book. If you are a fan of Ice Cream Man and you've never read 1 week in the library, grab this for $10. It is the W. Maxwell Prince book that has gone missing from everybody's collection and you need to get it now.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one I need to pick up.
Yes.
This one fell. I just didn't
Nobody
see
knew because it came pre-Ice Cream Man, so people didn't know about it. It is a book that I try to keep in stock at all times because everybody needs to read it. And it's the same. It's the same all the way through. Like, you get the prose, you get the weird stuff, you get the... It's so good, and you still get the bugs and the existential dread. Like, it's literally a workshop for Ice Cream Man. And you get to the end, and W. Maxwell Prince is like, I don't know how this ends. I don't know either. Like, he's literally a character in the book going, I don't know how to end this.
Nice.
And I'm like, this is how I feel like Ice Cream Man is also going to end. He's going to be like, I don't know what I've been doing this whole time, guys, but you're still reading, so here we are. Shang-Chi comes out very, very soon. I cannot wait for Shang-Chi to come out. We just had the premiere this last week in LA. So excited. Catch up on this. Read some Shang-Chi. Get to know the character before you go into the movie.
Oh, what? This is Jean Yuan Lin.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you're all missing out. He's still writing Shang-Chi.
I had no idea.
I know. You need to. You need to read it.
I'll give it a try now.
House of X, Powers of X, speaking of, if you are one of the 700,000 people that have asked us where the House of X, Powers of X trades are, they are back in stock for a hot minute. We have them for a hot minute. Grab it. It's everything you need to know about the Hickman-verse. Get it while you can, and also because Hickman is leaving. We'll talk about that again in a minute.
Also, it says House of X on the cover, but it's both.
It's both.
We are going to talk about
We are going to talk about it in a minute.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
That is a conversation I'd like to have.
Joshua Ramirez says, chime in on trade news. The Recount trade is up and ready for order. If you would like to order a trade of the Recount, please let us know. Super excited for that. We're going to be talking about orders also in comic book news in just a minute. Lastly, in trades, finally back in stock. I guess this is technically my favorite Scott Snyder book. I lied to you earlier.
I was going to ask, and then I saw it in the pile,
lie.
and I was like, I'll let her correct herself.
I'll correct myself when I get there because this is actually my favorite Scott Snyder book, Witches, is back.
$9.99. Good
awesome.
$10.
The best $10 you're going to spend. It's so freaking good. You get Scott Snyder telling an excellent story, but more importantly than that, you get Jacques giving you some of the best art you're going to stare at.
Yes.
Everything that I own is also my husband's. We have a beautiful, wonderful Witches poster that we got from Jacques. It at MondoCon a couple years ago. It's gorgeous.
Beauty.
God, I love his art.
It's fantastic.
So good.
Yeah, you can't beat it.
And he has literal dad. He is the dad, so he just is dad energy.
Mm-hmm.
I told him that I loved this book and that it was amazing, and he was like, really? Because my kids didn't think it was that great, kind of thing. He was like, I'm so happy that you like it, and tells stories about his kids, and wears a plain t-shirt and jeans, and it's, yes, Joshua said, Witches is so good. Snyder and Jacques are just as good as PB and J. Absolutely, I want to consume Witches as much as I would like to consume a PB and J sandwiches.
I definitely feel like Jacques, who I primarily saw in Batman. Absolutely. He did a lot of Batman
especially
stuff.
Black Mirror with him and Francavilla both. Oh my god.
Yeah, but I feel like Jacques, as much Batman as he's drawn, I feel like horror is where he needs to be.
Yes.
Just let him write and draw his own horror book. I don't care how great the story is. I'll just take. You don't even give me a story.
Just let Jacques draw stuff,
and
I'll look at it.
Draw stuff.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And Witches is just a phenomenal story. It's all about this family living in a small town, and town curses and generational curses and witches and anger, and it's so flipping good. If you have not read it, seriously, this will be some of the best $10 you've ever spent in your life. Just buy this book. Buy it all.
And then get really upset because it's taken Scott Snyder a very long time
to
even contemplate doing it again.
So there's a whole thing about that.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing because there's he's working on the TV show that will be coming hopefully for this, so that's why we have it. And there is the Bad Egg special. Good luck finding it. I don't have it. The Bad Egg special is kind of the prequel to it. Mm-hmm. That comes after Witches. It was Witches and then the prequel, and then there is a sequel in the works. Maybe someday, we'll see. So, Scott Snyder, just work on Witches and Noctera and stop working on everything else, and we'll be fine.
I feel like he gets asked almost every week when Witches is coming back, and he's like, we're working on it. It'll be here eventually.
We're here. We're waiting. We're happy.
Right, quit everything else.
Yeah.
Except Noctera, because I really need to know what happens there, especially after this last issue.
Noctera.
Take a break from Noctera and finish Witches. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, write Witches, send it to Jock, and then go back to Noctera.
And then go back to Noctera. That's all Easily. I need. You don't need to do anything else. Let Charles Soule just take over Undiscovered Country. He's solid. He doesn't need your help. It's fine.
Didn't that end?
Undiscovered Country?
Right.
I don't know if it actually ended. It's still ongoing, I think. But let Charles Soule take it over. He's got it. He's got it under control. You write Witches. Nobody's helping. It's just Scott Snyder on that. He doesn't have a co-writer, so just get into Witches and then let your co-writers deal with all the other projects for a minute.
Yeah.
Give them some outlines. Go back to Witches. Just do it. $9.99. Best trade. Get it. But
Is that the last one?
that's the last one. Unless you want me to go grab Middle West and talk about it.
Prize.
You're doing a great job. Alright, so we've got Carnage, Red, White, and Blood. These are anthologies, and I just think this cover is freaking cool. We also have this Predator book where he's coming out of the swamp. That's a thing. And the question is, what is the name of Magneto's first solo title? It was a one-shot. I'm not looking for the first Magneto ongoing, which was called Magneto. Definitely not looking for that. I am looking for the name of Magneto's first solo title, which was a one-shot that included some reprints. If you can tell me that, you get both of these books. I need the full title because, once again, it does have Magneto in the title. If you just give me a Magneto, I'm not giving you a prize. That seems fair.
I think so.
I feel like I'm not being too harsh. You have
No.
to. You can't just tell me it was called Magneto. If you tell me it was called Magneto, yes, Gomez, dude, Gomez, you were ready for that.
Also, I've heard really amazing things about this Runaway series.
Rainbow Rowell is one of the best YA writers in the world, so
Okay.
giving her Runaways was just great. And I think I just ordered trades. So
Okay, cool. Yes. Yes, please. What?
Renee's answer was beautiful. Magneto,
my
the
God.
Long Halloween. That's fantastic, Renee. Renee, I've missed all of your nowhere near correct, hilarious, ridiculous answers. I'm so glad.
Sorry.
If somebody wants the Carnage book, Gomez says he already has it and he's willing to share. So if somebody is looking for the Carnage book, give us drop it in the comments and Gomez will throw it your way. But yeah, congratulations, Gomez. Otherwise, and I can't wait to read Magneto: The Long Halloween. Sounds fantastic. So
I would read that.
I would 100%.
Is
oh,
it-
I didn't show
Is
this.
it going to be Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale?
If it is, I'm buying it because
Okay.
I'll buy anything they work on together.
Yeah, for sure.
While Matt is organizing that prize, I just wanted to once again give a shout out to Story Cubes. These are fantastic ways to develop your own imagination. I'm going to hold this up slightly to the camera. We'll see if that works. This is the inside of the Story Cubes. They are actually just little die, and you roll each of the die. There's a couple ways to play. The basic way to play is you roll 3 of them, and that kind of gives you the insight to your character. And then you roll 3 more for your intro, 3 more for the middle, and 3 more for the end of your story. Or you can go on crazy mode. That's not what it's called, but that's what I'm going to call it. And you can roll all 9 die at the same time and have to develop your story for that. We actually had a fun day where we were doing this in the store and everybody was just taking turns, and Josh was like, I'm going to roll all 9. And he rolled all 9 of them and legitimately just rolled Game of Thrones. And I was like, we were like, that's Game of Thrones. This is how George R.R. Martin wrote it, 100%. But Story Cubes, great way to develop an imagination. It's great for kids or adults. I know you've been using them
Yes.
for your writing.
I sometimes tend to not have a good idea, or I feel like I need to expand. I feel like every time I sit down to write, I need to write a small novel, and instead,
That's not true.
yeah, which is not how it should be done. So I actually use these to write very anywhere between 5 and 8 page short stories.
That's fantastic.
And it's a lot of fun because you can really do whatever. They have games in here that you can play. But honestly, you can really do anything. You can pick a genre and then try and build a story within a genre.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a ton of fun. That somebody was in here on Free Comic Book Day. One of Jeff's friends, Mark.
Yeah.
The guy who was
Yes.
at the wedding. And Jeff actually had his on him and took all of them out And Mark just started taking them out and playing with them, and he bought, I think, 2 sets.
Mark is also a
Right
writer,
there.
so yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, is he was just like, this is a fun thing to do to make writing more interesting.
Yeah, we're going to start incorporating them into a lot of our kids' workshops, and super excited. Renee just said that there's a Batman story cubes.
What?
So I'm going to need us to look into that, because
Yes.
that's super sweet.
Yes, please.
No, we can't get it?
They had Star Wars.
Oh.
They didn't have Batman.
Well, we got to find this Batman one. We got to hunt
I'll
it
call
down.
him.
Call him out. Call him out. We got to find this Batman story cube.
Call him.
That's amazing.
Also, the HeroClix set comes out Wednesday. This Wednesday.
This Wednesday for the new HeroClix set. Okay, good to know.
It's the X-Men.
Right, and we need a new HeroClix night soon. We'll work on that. I know
It's been too long.
it's been too
It's
long.
been too
There's this whole Delta variant going around. We want to keep everybody safe, so we'll have to. I know I have subscribers who come in, and that's like the first thing they say, like every time they come in, is, I have all of these HeroClix. When can I play with them? And I'm like, soon. We just want to make sure everybody can be safe when they do it.
Once the
Wait.
Omega happens.
It works. I'm actually kind of happy because Troll and Toad lost my box of HeroClix I had ordered, and so I've been trying to get them back. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't think it was them. I think it was
UPS, FedEx,
yeah,
UPS,
whoever
Postal
it
Service,
was.
whatever
Yeah,
it was.
I think.
It's probably DHL, I don't know.
Yeah, one of those. They'd lost it, so I'm trying to get them. So I don't mind waiting a little bit longer, but I'm very excited.
Yeah. So you want to press the buttons? Because I don't know what we're talking about next. So $1 book club will come back eventually. We took a couple weeks off because we've been doing an every other week book club, and we took a week off because last week was Free Comic Book Day / Matt and I got married. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. But we took some time off. This would have been an off week for $1 book club, which means it would technically come out next week, but it will not be next week because next week is the release of Shang-Chi, and therefore there will not be, because it's the 2nd next week, and that is the release of Shang-Chi. So it's not. I thought
No.
I was like, is not right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was like,
That's next week.
I
This
have
week's
ticked.
the
Yeah.
off week, yeah.
This week we're not. It was this week would have been book club, or would not have been book club. It would have been the bye week, to put it in sports terms. And next week would have been book club, but
Okay.
we're going to be seeing Shang-Chi. I recommend everybody that feels comfortable going to a movie theater goes and sees that, to remind Marvel that we need more of our minority characters to be the leads.
Also, it's the guy from Kim's Convenience.
It's the guy from Kim's Convenience, and Simu Liu is awesome and wonderful and
So,
amazing.
I'm on board.
It's gonna be so good.
The trailer looks good.
Yeah.
I was really impressed.
I actually watched that trailer, and we don't watch trailers, but
I
Matt and I
know.
saw that trailer, and we were like, shut up, it's gonna be awesome. Super stoked, can't wait. Go see the movie if you are comfortable going to movie theaters.
Is it also going to be on Disney Plus?
No, it is not going to be on Disney Plus.
Mm.
There's a whole thing with that.
Thanks to Black Widow.
It's not because of that, but it is
really?
also because of that. Disney
Oh.
makes terrible statements. We're not gonna. If I talk about
Shocker.
that, we're gonna go. We're gonna be here for
Should
a
we
long
pour
time.
you another glass of wine?
We will be here for a very long time. Comic industry news. So, things I want to say first and foremost. Thank you to everybody who helped with Free Comic Book Day. Free Comic Book Day was last Saturday, the 14th. We had multiple people describe our event as a circus in a good way. We had sausages from Smoky Denmark's on 5th and Springdale. Thank you so much to Smoky Denmark's for donating 3 cases of their sausages for free giveaway for Free Comic Book Day. You could make sausage wraps or just have a sausage. Thanks to Smoky Denmark. So I want to say thank you to them for their support. And on that note, thank you to Brian Lasseter for working all day to cook those sausages. Sat there at the grill for hours, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning to just make sausages for people all day, which is extraordinary. We had music from live music from Corey Allen and Todd Sith. And our own Matt Live. Todd and Matt have a band called Freerunner together. They played some of their songs acoustically, as well as covering some awesome Beatles songs in the middle of the day. There is a live stream on the Freerunner Facebook page that you can check out if you missed that. But also...
Dude, don't act like that, Matt.
But
don't even. Don't shake your head.
Yeah, it was great. But... shout out to Corey and Todd. Go follow them. Corey is, I believe, Corey Allen Music on Facebook. And Todd doesn't have a Facebook, but he has an Instagram for Todd Stiff Music, I believe. Follow both of them, and thank you so much to both of them for coming out. Todd came all the way from Florida and was
great
playing.
Guy.
And so,
I was a big fan of Todd.
And Todd showed up on Friday night to get into town to play on Saturday and worked at the shop all Friday night to help. So, and then we had our free comic book day tent, and we had a incredible slew of volunteers. I am literally going to name them because they all deserve it. Phil obviously was here. Phil and J2, Joshua Ramirez, working with Lynn Brown all day. Lynn Brown, the co-creator of Mars Attacks, Garbage Pail Kids, Wacky Packages, out from 12 to 4. It was such a great, amazing thing.
Like, that's its own story.
That's its own story that, again, you can come talk to Phil and...
I'll tell you all the stories.
He'll tell you all of his stories of working with Lynn Brown. That was such an incredible experience to get to meet him. To Juan, aka Chongo ATX, and Anthony for running the line in the front all day, and Officer Chuck being out there helping with that. We had Rodney, who stayed in his Thor costume,
which was impressive,
all day with how hot it was. The fact that he stood there and ran line control for the free comic book day thing was incredible. Stephanie, who came out and helped, she doesn't have social media, she's never going to see this, but thank you to Stephanie for coming out and helping. Stan was here. It was fantastic to get to have Stan out and working. Stan is the other owner of Bat City Comics. It was great for everybody to get a chance to meet him. He's been so busy. Nigel, obviously out here working in the store, working outside, just filling in wherever he could, running around like a crazy person all day. So great. We had some creators, and we had the creator of Halloween Man, Drew Edwards. We had the creator of RWA, which we have also in here. It was such a great experience to have these, so many things going on, so many people, and get to meet people who, we had people who came that were like, we didn't know what Free Comic Book Day meant. We don't read comic books, but we wanted to come and see what that meant and check it out. We had a lot of people who were like, this is my first time in. I can't wait to see the inside of the store, or I just checked out the inside of the store. It's such a cool thing. It's so cool to just have that awesome experience. I'm so thankful for our backyard that we were able to still have a free comic book day and be able to have this open air experience and keep everybody safe. And thank you to everybody who came, not just for coming, but for the fact that I did not have to tell a single person to put on their mask. Everybody that came respected our setup, that the idea of having masks. Everybody was supportive to that. Everybody was, when we said one person in the tent at a time, nobody pushed in. Mm-hmm. There was such a respectful group of people that came for Free Comic Book Day, and I just want to thank everybody for seeing those things on the internet, or getting that information when they come, and then like following those rules and being respectful to others, because that was such a fantastic thing. So thank you not only for supporting Bat City, but for supporting that. On that note, I also want to thank everybody who came the next day. Matt and I got to have our wedding here for our Bat family and friends to come to. It was such a great experience. Once again, an event done entirely by Bat City volunteers. Our incredible volunteers and friends put together. They recreated the cover of Batman 50 for us. They made sure we got safely through all of that rain and everything. So many people showed up. There's so much of our subscriber base that came out to support that. And of course, to our like wonderful friends, you, Phil, Nigel, Stephanie, Juan, Rodney, who was in our wedding, as our flower person.
Yes, the top, some of the best flowering, I guess that would be the way to say that. Just fantastic.
Josh, who I left out on Free Comic Book Day, who was here all day, every day last week, and
so
every time.
I had to say, I forgot to tell you afterwards, but when you were giving your speech, you were kind of going around and praising people, and you didn't say Josh, and I leaned in and I was like, you vlogged the most hours as a volunteer, and they didn't even say anything. He goes, typical.
Josh, yes, we love Josh. I know he probably thinks we don't, except for the fact that we say it to his face every day. Josh is probably the one person who honestly gets thanked every day more than anybody, so...
I just think he likes to hear it.
He
all
does.
The time.
Well, he's a Sagittarius. Of course he likes to hear it all the time. We do love Josh, and so thank you so much to Josh for... Josh literally drove through that rainstorm to get a cheesecake. Because I was like, I want an Oreo cake for the wedding, but I can't... That's not something we can, like, cut and, like, shove into each other's faces.
Yeah.
So I want, like, a cheesecake. And Josh drove through that rainstorm to the Cheesecake Factory to get a cheesecake for us to cut. So Josh, being an extraordinary human, made sure that I actually had the cheesecake that I wanted for the wedding, as if it was nothing. And then, like, was just there the whole day. So Josh, we love you. You know that we love you. And shout out to Donnie and Meg. Donnie Cates, Megan Hutchison Cates, taking care of everything for that wedding. Two beautiful, amazing, wonderful humans who we love. Some of our best friends who mean the world to us, and they just did such an incredible job making sure everybody had a fun, fantastic time and taking care of everything. We couldn't be more thankful to our group of friends for constantly showing up and supporting in whatever way that they can. Matt turned to me and said, I know we were legally married last year, but for some reason now it feels like we're actually married because all of these people got to see it and be a part of it. And that's you guys. So thank you so much to everybody who came, like Ram said, who watched it online. I've had a lot of people come into the store this week and say, I couldn't make it, but I saw it online, and I'm so excited and to see it. So thank you so much for sharing that. And really, Matt and I just want to say thank you so much for sharing it with us.
I can say it was the best wedding I've ever been to.
Is it the only wedding you've ever been
No.
to? Okay, good.
No.
Because I was like, that won't be...
And I'm somebody who doesn't enjoy weddings. They cause me a lot of anxiety. Because because the thing is like, usually everyone seems so stressed out, you know, for a day that's supposed to be so beautiful and about love, and it's like the beginning of your life. But like every friend's wedding that I've been to, they're just like, dude, okay, we got to do this. We got to do pictures. We got to, like, everything has to be done perfectly and all those high expectations and everything. This wedding, solid. Also, shout out to Posse East.
I was going to say shout out to Posse East.
Those Posse chips.
Shout out to Posse East for bringing the Posse chips. I'm telling this story on the internet because it is amazing. Posse chips are my favorite thing. If you've watched this live stream for the last couple of years, you know that I'm obsessed with the Posse chips. I've eaten them every Tuesday for the last 5 years. I think they're the greatest thing ever. They're in-house made chips. They're wonderful. They stopped making them during the pandemic because they're in the heater. They're hot and ready kind of chips, and they were burning and drying out, and it was a waste of money when there's not people. They couldn't be open, so they weren't selling in that capacity because they're like the bar snack. And I had asked them if I asked both JV and John, JV being the owner. If you've read Redneck, he's JV in Redneck, and Evil, aka John from I asked them, are there going to be Posse chips for the wedding? And they were like, we'll bring them back. We'll have them for the wedding. Well, they went to order the Posse chips, and Posse chips could not be delivered in time for the wedding. So JV drove to get them, and then John personally made them so that we would have Posse chips for our wedding. If you do not eat at Posse East, this is me asking you to support one of the greatest families in the city one of the most amazing restaurants. When we got married last year in Chicago, they let us drive to Chicago with their sound system. They let us take their PA system to Chicago. When we asked them if we could have a wedding, JV's response was, hell, we ain't ever had a wedding here before. Let's do it. And there's never a question in the Posse East family's mind of can we help a family member? Yes, let's do it.
Right.
That's the answer every time. And if you are at Posse East, you are a member of their family. And they do a Thanksgiving every year where if you don't have a place to go on Thanksgiving, you come to Posse East and there is a potluck. Whether you can bring something or not, you eat for free at Posse East on Thanksgiving.
Nice.
They are a amazing staple to the Austin community. They just celebrated 50 years in Austin, in existence. They are fantastic. Please support Posse East. This is an Austin staple that we need to continuously support, and they have been a huge part of Matt and I's lives. Matt has hosted their open mic for the last 7 years. That is actually, Donnie Cates was working there when he came up with most of his comic book ideas that have gotten him to where he is now. He was working as a cook there when he started in comic books. Megan has worked at Posse East. It's a huge part of comics. It's a huge part of Austin. It's a huge part of our lives. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much to Posse for continuously being in that, and I'm so happy that they were able to share in that moment, and that so many of our Bat family members who hadn't gotten to experience how great they are now are like, when can we go back to Posse? And I'm like, every day, all day, every day, we're happy to go. They helped Tuesday nights, of course. But they helped Bat City when we didn't have a store. They were our home base. They let us sell comics from there. They let us do previews events there. We are where we are now because Posse East gave us a space to build our platform. And we're so incredibly thankful to them. And if you want to show your thanks to them, go eat there. Support them, buy food, buy beer, and buy Redneck. Read Redneck by Donnie Cates because it is about Posse East and the incredible people there.
And if you're reading Redneck, go sit at Posse East and read Redneck. And get Posse chips with Chipotle mayo.
Yes.
Make sure you get that mayo. That stuff is fantastic. I told the guy at the counter when I went up there, I said, hey, anytime that I order food, please make sure there's Chipotle mayo.
Any food.
Yes, it doesn't matter what it is.
They will remember that, and you will always... During the pandemic, when we would order our food from, we're still in the pandemic. Let me rephrase that. During the early stages of the pandemic, when everything was closed, we would order our food to go, because they were only to go at the time. And we would order our food to go, and we'd get home, and I would have not ordered Posse chips, and there would be a complete tray of Posse chips and my favorite sauces to dip them in.
Oh, wow.
In there, and I would text Evil, and I'd be like, I didn't ask for this. I can't believe you still threw it in there. And he's like, I just assumed you forgot, and you needed it. And he's like, and so remembered those are the sauces you dip your chips in. And so everybody there will remember what you order. And it will become a thing. Like, Matt and I would order grilled cheese sandwiches every Tuesday night, and we'd be like, can you put extra pickles on them? And it became a thing where we would start each getting a bowl of pickles with our grilled cheese sandwiches that we never asked for. They would just do that. And when we were talking about getting a grilled cheese sandwich the other day, one of the people who used to work there was like, did they give you your bowl of pickles? And we were like, no. And they were like, well... Okay, well, they're not living up to expectation. They need to work on that.
It must be new.
Yeah, and it's so cute that they all, focus on that. And we get Posse sweet potato fries delivered every Thursday or Friday. Nice. When one of our subscribers who works at Posse comes in, he always brings sweet potato fries with him that he makes fresh before he leaves. It's great.
He needs to also bring a garbage bag full of Posse chips.
100%, Max, you heard it. You do that. You just bring all the Posse chips.
You just tell me how much I need to pay, and you can have it. You can have all of it.
All of the money. I'm so excited that I have corrupted somebody else to love Posse chips. This is all I needed in life.
I ordered a basket early on because I had eaten beforehand. I was like, I'll just snack for a bit, and I ordered one. And then people at my table started eating them, and they were like, oh, these are so good. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll order more. I think I ordered it 2 or 3 times. throughout the night where I was like, hey, can I just get some more Posse chips, please?
This is the greatest moment of my life. I'm so proud. Unrelated to Posse East and our wedding, other comic industry news that's really important. I have to do the initial order, which is the 2-month out order, this Thursday night. So if you are hoping to get any of your previous catalogs orders in and you have not submitted them yet, submit them by Wednesday night. If you are a subscriber, you will get 20% off if you prepay for anything you choose out of the previous catalog. If you are not a subscriber but you'd also like to prepay, you'll get 15% off anything you prepay for out of the previous catalog that's due to me by Wednesday. You can email us at batcitycomicprofessionals@gmail.com. That's the name of the store, batcitycomicprofessionals@gmail.com, if you have an order for that, or you can come in and drop off your previews order form. We do have previous catalogs from last month still in the store if you need to see it. If not, you cannot find it online because you'd have to go back. If you look, you have to make sure you scroll back to the last month because the current month will already have rolled over because customer orders were technically due this past Thursday. I give you extension until the day before I order, so you have until Wednesday to order. Send me your order. You can do that. The other comic industry news that I really want to talk about is Substack.
Yes, I do want to talk about
We
this.
got to talk about Substack. So it is not the end of the comic book industry. Please stop freaking out. Please don't text me and be like, as a store, are you worried about Substack? No, I'm not worried about Substack. I am excited for Substack because there's so many things that creators that I like that are doing some cool things. That said, big announcements. James Tynion leaving Batman.
Yes.
Jonathan Hickman leaving X-Men.
Yes.
Both going to Substack for indie titles.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to the indie titles they are already creating.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so from what I gather, so Substack is a newsletter subscription service.
Substack is Patreon for comic creators.
Okay.
Is essentially what it is.
But it started out as just a
It
newsletter.
started out
right?
as a newsletter
Okay.
thing, but now they're going to be digital first comics. And I say digital first because all of the creators have said these comics will also be available in print form at stores in the future. But to get them digitally first, you subscribe to their particular Substack, not Substack as a whole. So it's just like Patreon. You have to subscribe to that particular
to the
creators.
specific creators, yeah.
And once you do that, you can get their titles. And their newsletters, which the James Tynion one, he's going to teach you how he writes, which is a phenomenal service. I believe Scott Snyder has one too.
Yes, and he is also doing writing courses
Yes.
as well.
And Donnie Cates and Ryan Stegman are together launching one for the Kids Love Chains Press. Vanish will be on that. I have a lot of people who keep saying, can you subscribe me to Vanish? I hear it's coming out soon. I cannot subscribe you to Vanish yet. Vanish is going to be releasing digitally first through the KLC Substack. If you want to get it immediately, it's only available digitally for the time being. Donnie and Ryan are going to release it physically in the future, but for now you have to subscribe to KLC Press Substack in order to get the digital version. That is also how you will get Flood initially. I will tell you, you are going to want Flood in every form. I have already seen pages of Flood. Flood is fucking phenomenal. This is Donnie Cates and Megan Hutchison Cates working together. Megan is doing the art, Donnie is doing the writing. This book's art is going to blow your mind. Megan doesn't get enough interior work for how good she is.
She very rarely does it.
She
Lately she hasn't really
very
done it.
rarely does interiors anymore, and Flood is phenomenal. It is going to be releasing on Substack digitally first, and then it will come out in print. You're going to want it both ways. I'm just going to tell you. If you like digital comics, read it digitally. If you don't, wait for the print version. But even if you read it digitally, you're going to want to own a tangible version of Megan's art in this book because it's so flippin' good.
I mean, I can only imagine.
It's so good.
I find it interesting that this because this was the thing that pulled Nick Spencer away from Marvel.
Yes.
And I was a little confused at first. What I find interesting is that this new service has pulled 2 creators away from very successful titles. Tynion's Batman was fantastic, you know, in a long line of Batman titles. But you also get Hickman to leave X-Men.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know I didn't assume that was going to happen anytime soon. You know, I kind of assumed he was going to be on X-Men for another 4 or 5 years. I find that interesting. I'm a little wary because I believe you don't get it issue by issue. I believe the way it works is you get it.
Ooh.
I think it's a page a day or something like that, but it's not. You don't get the whole issue at once.
Oh,
is
that's
what
strange.
I read. Is that it's not. It's broken down a little differently.
I
like
don't
webtoons.
like digital comics, so I actually did not look into all those details.
I listen to a bunch of podcasts because I'm always curious, and you know, like everyone who freaks out where they're like, "Oh, this is going to change the industry. Watch out, retailers, because you're not going to get people in your store anymore." And it's like, look, Comixology has existed
For a
a
decade.
handful of years now, and stores are still thriving.
Amazon owns Comixology,
Yeah.
and we're still existing.
Yeah.
There was the version of this that Brian K. Vaughan created that came out a couple months ago and a year ago, and it's still not a thing. Like this, there's always going to be people who don't want digital platform, and there's going to be people who want both, and there are going to be people who are like, hey, I really want this like digital only version, and they can get that. And you know, that's the way that works. And you know, however you want to choose your medium. Like, that's fine. Get it where you want to get it and how you want to get it. That's on you. And get it every way you like to consume it.
And also realize that this platform, more than others, the creators are gonna see more return.
Yes.
The thing that makes me a little nervous is Substack is funded by venture capitalists, so it's going to be very money driven for them. And I know there's going to be a lot of different things that are going to come out. They're going to try a bunch of different things for that aspect of it to be appealing to venture capitalists. So I'm a little nervous that it's not going to play out how everyone wants it to. I have a lot of fear for how this is going to go. I hope it's successful for creators' sake, though.
I want to see creators get the money that they deserve for the work that they're doing.
Yes.
In whatever way that is. And yeah. And so that's something that, like, I definitely want to see. I want to see creators get that opportunity to make the books that they want. And if they're still not, like, you know, if you're James Tynion and you still can't get every book that you want to push through, and you need to go in a digital first platform to put something out, like, that's shame. To actually get the money that you deserve, because you're James Tynion and you're the Eisner winner for best work, and you deserve to get paid for the work that you're doing, for your best writing work. And I'm curious to see where it goes. Like I said, I'm not a digital comics fan. I know a lot of people really like to read digitally. I can't. I tried. I actually somebody bought me, I should say, a Kindle Fire. My friend actually bought me a Kindle Fire when they were still new, to read comics on, because I was trying to read comics digitally, and she was like, you need a better platform for that. And I realized that it wasn't that I needed a bigger screen or any of that. I just didn't like reading comics digitally. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, however you like to read them, like, consume your media. But yeah, I'm curious to see how many more creators will have something come out. I'm actually only intrigued, like, to me, the thing I'm most intrigued about is I would really like to read James Tynion's letters about how he's doing entire class is essentially on world building, and he is the best world builder out there, and so I am curious about what he's going to be talking about that. And he used to do those newsletters just as a part of his own fandom. Like, he had his own fan club, and he did those newsletters, and those newsletters are now moving behind this paywall. And so I'm curious to see how that plays out for everybody, but I'm glad to see that, you know, we had the image revolution in the 90s, and it was like, hey, creators deserve to get paid for their writing, and now it's like, hey, creators deserve to get even more credit and even more, like, creator-owned is great, but, like, how much further can we take that in a world where anybody can create something?
Right.
How much further can we take this? And I'm curious to see what it does to revolutionize the industry in the same way that image revolutionized the industry in the 90s. There's a chance that this can do some cool things.
Yeah.
There's a chance it could do some nothing.
Yeah. I feel like it's slowly gonna fizzle out. It's kind of where I'm thinking it's gonna go.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, if it's gonna give you a chance to see things, comics ahead of time, I just feel like I would be more intrigued with. I like the concept of Patreon more, because you can do more than just comics.
Yeah.
Like, instead of just paying to see digital comics, you'll get more than that. You know, video tutorials and things like that through Patreon. So I'm curious if there's going to be a lot of creators switching from Patreon.
Yeah.
Too, because I know, like, I pay for Ed Piscor's Patreon, and he does all sorts of things. You see, you get advanced chapters, like Red Room. I got to read Red Room before it came out, and he does videos of, like, him drawing and stuff like that. It's tied to his podcast and YouTube show. So,
and to prove the point, you still bought Red Room when it came out.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So everybody who says, oh, well, this is going to make people not buy comics, no, you still bought both.
And the thing is a lot of people that I've talked to who have already started subscribing to Substack, especially the Donny Cates one, because, of course, like, that
blew up.
That's where everyone's going. That's like, that was the big draw, I think, for a lot of people was Donny going on board and talking about being on board for that. So I know a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm going to read them digitally, but I'm also going to get them when they hit the stores, because I still want the physical aspect of it. So, you know, it's just going to give you a chance to read stuff and be there ahead of time before it gets spoiled on the internet.
Absolutely.
You know, so I'm going to support anything and everything that's going to benefit the comic book industry and is going to make creators more interested in putting out content. And if they know that there's more money to be made, then they're going to do that. So I'm on board.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm all about creators getting their credit and getting the money that they deserve. And, you know, it's not... and I feel it necessary to constantly answer that question, because that is a question I get every time a new digital service opens up. Is I get people saying, or a new title is announced even, that it's going to be digital first. I get, are you worried that your store is going to shut down? We're not going anywhere. Especially, like, people say, like, I can't believe Donnie would go digital. Donnie was a comic book retailer. He's worked in multiple comic book stores. Donnie will tell you, first and foremost, I'm never going to do anything that's going to harm the retail aspect of the store, of the comic book industry, because they're the reason I have a job. And you're the, you know, the people who buy the books, the people who sell the books, like, this is, because at the end of the day, well, readers keep comic book stores in business, but comic book stores keep creators in business, because we buy the books. I've already bought 20 copies of the next book. Whether you buy 20 copies or not, I've bought 20 copies. Right. So they've already made their money from what I bought. Right. And so that's the thing, is, like, the creators are not going to stop the retail, ruin business for the retailers, because they know that we're the ones that are buying the books. And if we were like, oh, well, we're not going to buy the book, then that's where they get paid, because we order from the publisher. You didn't order from the publisher. We ordered from the publisher. You bought from us. You keep us in business.
Right.
And that's incredible. It's a symbiotic relationship, not to keep on this Donny Cates thing and just go with symbiotes, but we're all in a symbiotic relationship here. And we each need, we all need each other to survive. And if you cut out the retailer, that's a lot that goes missing. And there's so much there. It's a community aspect. It's, somebody came in today and he called and he asked for a book. And then he came in and he's like, I'm so sorry. Is it okay if I just stay here and talk to you about all the stuff that I'm liking right now? Because I haven't talked to a person in person about a comic in almost a year. Can I just stand here and talk to you about all of the stuff that I'm enjoying in comic books for a little bit? And I was like, please do. I am here. That is why I exist. Yeah. I have bar stools and a couch in my store so that you will sit down and talk to me about the comics you are loving, because it's not just about buy your comic and go home. It's about building a community and having friends and talking about comics, and let's do this together. And I love that. As BJ just said in the Venom voice, we are comics. We're all here. We're all together. We're not going anywhere.
No.
The digital world is not going to crush us. The indie world is not killing the big two. Like, none of it's going anywhere. We're all here. We're all together. Buy what you like. Buy it in the form you like. Support the creators you like in the way that feels right to you. And fucking just read comics and do dope shit, as Donnie would say.
Yeah. And also, if you are subscribed to a Substack, tell other comic book fans, like, hey, this new Donny Cates book, you got to be on this. Like, when it comes out, and you're helping your retail store, because people are going to call up and say, hey, you need to pre-order this.
Yeah.
And it just helps everybody. So, yeah.
Keep the circle going. Buy comics. Read comics. Read comics.
Yes.
Buy comics. Be awesome. Let's do this. Let's fucking do this.
I agree.
The end. Welcome to our TED Talk.
Any more news?
No, that's all our news.
That's all.
That's all the news. Unless you have news. Do you have news?
I don't think I have news.
Matt has no news. Be one with comics. There you go. Right.
Week.
Fries. Scott said, do you remember when it was trade paperbacks that were going to kill the industry? Yes. And that was hilarious. I am a crazy human, so I'm giving away this copy of Brigade #1. Okay, that's not what makes me a crazy person. What makes me a crazy person is I'm giving away a copy of The Trial of Magneto. This Scarlet Witch beautiful cover from Art Germ. I'm going to give it to you. You also get the copy of Brigade as well. That wasn't a joke. You really did get it. Image. I love them. And the way you get this is, you tell me, while Supergirl, as we know her, first appeared in Action Comics number 252, in what Superman issue did a super hyphen girl come into existence? Now, Superman doesn't have a hyphen in his name, neither does Supergirl. But Spider-Man does, because Stan Lee didn't want you to get confused between Spider-Man and Superman. So that's why there's a hyphen.
You know, I always got those two mixed up.
I'm so confused. But that is actually legitimately why there is a hyphen in it, because he didn't want it to be a thing. So Supergirl, there was a super hyphen girl, and she came out before Supergirl.
Interesting.
And it was in a Superman issue. And you could literally guess numbers and potentially guess this right. Look at this, Phil. You could literally guess numbers and you could possibly get this right.
Oh, yeah.
No, not 57, Renee. But that is close to the year that it came out. Also, my wine is broken. Do we have any more? Is it gone? A little bit. There's still some left.
I only got like a glass and a half.
I mean, give yourself some more. Don't give it all to me. BJ, you are correct. It is Superman 123. And Superman 123, Supergirl appeared. This is not the normal Supergirl. This is not
Right.
Kara Zor-El. This is Supergirl pre that, and actually how it came about is Jimmy Olsen wished that there was a female version of a super type character that would basically be into Jimmy Olsen. And he wished this Supergirl into existence, and then
Only Jimmy would do that.
didn't work out, and so in the end Jimmy has to wish the Supergirl back out of existence.
Bummer.
Superman 123 1958 is when the Supergirl was around. BJ, you were getting this copy of Brigade, which I know is what you're super excited about, and it's definitely not the copy of the Trials of Magneto. This specific one you didn't pick, but you debated on. Now you have a copy of. Congratulations. We are wrapping up, wind down your weekend. This is an every Sunday night show. We start at about 9 o'clock. Phil and I are here to talk to you about all of our comics that we love that week. Some weeks it takes 7 hours. Some weeks it takes 1. You know, here we are. Yep. And we are out. Yes, I was like, that's all we have. You didn't put on the have a great week. I was waiting for it before I ended it. Sorry. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We will see you next week on the live stream. If not, we will see you in shop for not free comic book day, new comic book day on Wednesday. We will see you then. And if not, we will see you here. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you for always letting me do this.
Yes, absolutely.
Best part of my week.
Aw.